No, I guess I'll start with, because we already started with this already in the beginning, but Hitched by You.
No, it's Hitched by Ourco. So it's Hitched by short for Our Company.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay, there's something new. My bad.
Yeah, it's
just going to read.
Hitched by R. It's Hitched by Ourco, so it's short for Our Company instead of saying yes.
Right. That's dope. That's even better.
Yes. It's the legacy of me and mine.
I like it.
There you go. My even little one is like, Mama, I can't wait until it's time for you to pass the company on to me. Right. So yeah, now setting them up.
Perfect. And I like what you're doing, because it's kind of in my realm of conversation. I've always been a situational type of guy.
Gotcha.
I mean, I transitioned as I got wiser and older and experienced new things, but I've always stuck around dating, because it's kind of similar to what you were saying, and I'd love to get into it. I was a person to the friend that always just
gave that sound advice. I
give advice now, and that's also the reason why I'm called Sarcastically Woke, because I'm a very sarcastic individual, but yet you
ain't ready, brother.
I'm not really filtered like that.
You ain't ready. You might think. Now I'm filtered.
Hey.
I'm filtered, but sarcastic.
The more you get to know me, the more you get to know me.
You stick around, you'll get it.
When I start doing my conversations with people where I'm like an actual a service, like, all right, let's go ahead and go do the situation.
Yeah.
My responses will be very clear with how I feel.
All right.
But I will say again,
I can respect that.
I think I'm pretty awake and I'm awoke. Yeah. And I've always been the type of person who never filtered my thoughts or what I felt, what you should do. I think a real friend is a person who tells you the absolute truth.
Listen, we just talked about this. My sister and I just spoke about it. Regardless of whether or not if I can't be myself and give you the honest truth, I feel like I'm doing an injustice to not only you, but to myself. I ain't being true to myself. And how could I be a good friend to you, regardless of what the consequence is? It's never done intentional to hurt your feelings. It's done to actually give you the raw truth, whether or not that hurt you or not. It was never meant, intended to hurt you. You can't control how somebody feel. You're not going to be able to control how they feel, but you can control how you deliver that message. And of course, I'm going to be respectful, but it might come with a little bit of sass, but I'm coming from my heart. I'm a nurturing person. I'm a loving person. I'm going to give you the whole entire Avis. I don't know how to give part of it. That's another reason, that's another reason why I can't be somebody's girlfriend. I got to be somebody's wife, because I can't give half of it. You going to either get the whole Avis or you going to get no Avis. So I have to be very selective and intentional with my time. And I make sure that I place myself in predicaments where that same person is intentional with his time or their time as well. So
that's important. Intentional is important. I used to tell myself, I think that principle goes with anything. I tell my son, whatever you do, be intentional about it. Whatever you say, have a purpose behind it. Have purpose behind whatever you're doing.
Right.
And I never I don't understand the idea of doing something without purpose behind it.
Right.
Like it doesn't seem authentic or have any value behind it. You know what I mean? But you did say something that caught my attention.
What is it?
And you said, if you're dating somebody, or you're not playing the role of girlfriend, you're playing the role of wife.
Right. Yeah.
But you have to go through the process.
It ain't that I'm playing the role. It's because I know, if you know what you bring to the table,
right?
I'm nobody's girlfriend. You have to be, I totally understand that you have to be somebody, you have to start off at a friend.
Right.
I get that. But I'm not going to be that friend to you or to the next person if I didn't feel that, one, I could be submissive to you.
Okay.
I could submit to you.
I get it now. Okay.
Two, that we both have the same intent, the same goal in mind. Like, we're dating with a purpose. I'm not dating for fun. This ain't fun. This ain't a game for me. This is serious. If we were just dating and playing around, sure, my days of doing that is long time over. But I'm going to be intentional about what it is that I'm doing with you, and I want you to be intentional about what you're doing with me. And if that's the like-minded person that I'm looking for, and most of my clients are looking for. So at the end of the day, if you're not dating with a purpose, and that purpose could be some of anything. Your purpose could be you just looking to date and screw this person, or you looking just for the company of somebody. Mm-hmm. But I personally am looking to date with the purpose of you intentionally being my husband.
And you set those expectations.
Oh yes, from day one, and I teach my people to do the same exact thing.
I agree.
If it's what you want, stick with it. You got to stick with it. Some people, kind of shy away, and it's like, oh no, I wanted, this, but I could deal with this. No, if you are dating with a purpose, stick with it, and date plenty of them. I ain't saying that, I'm looking to run out into the street and be like, oh, you my husband, and, I'm throwing myself at you type thing. No, are we both on the same page? Are you looking for, is your ultimate goal to date for marriage? If it's not, I'm not that person. I'm not going to sit and waste your time. And I would hope that you wouldn't waste mine.
Right. Well, that's part of the actual sense of properly dating.
Oh yeah,
actually dating.
Yes, you are dating several people.
Right.
Yeah, and
that's what made me, really, really say, we gotta talk. Especially when I went through your page and saw, I'm like, all right, she gets it. Cause I think you saw my post about dating.
Right, and we talked about it. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you got to have a pool of them. I'm not telling you. One thing my mom taught me was, I ain't telling you be no hoe in these streets, but date around. If the purpose of dating is so that you can find the person, you're a match. You may see, one thing in this person, two things in that person. And, eventually the person will come along that has all of those qualities that you're looking for at one time. However, you only know that if you date. Again, I'm very intentional with my time. I'm very intentional about my actions. I'm not about to be, checking this one and sleeping with this one. I ain't tell you to go out there and throw it and give it to them.
Right.
Hold it.
That's too much energy. Yeah. That's too much energy.
Hold it tight. But date them and find out, what it is that you actually want. And if that's what you want, make sure that person wants the same thing that you want. Right. And if they don't, then it might be hard. And that's the problem. We don't want to walk away.
Absolutely.
You can't walk away.
So when you meet people, when you work with them, do you ask them questions to see what their mind frame is?
Oh, most definitely.
Figure them out, and then maybe like pick apart, but you know what I mean? Pick pieces like, hey, that's why you have a problem right there, or how you view that, or that's why you have that issue, because you're looking from the wrong perspective, or what do you want? Because if you don't actually know what you want, how can you find it when you do dating? I'm not saying you have to have exactly it, but we have a general idea. And if you can't spend time with yourself to figure out, what you like, then you can't even properly give off that to that person to value what you have if you don't know what it is.
Well, in order for our clients to be a client, like you actually have to fill out a client questionnaire form. Like on that form, we want to know the qualities that you possess. We want to know the qualities that you're looking for in a partner. We want to make sure that, the hobbies and, things that you do, align with the person that you are interested in. Right. So you have plenty of people who are like, oh, I want this, I want that. But then when you get in the room and you see that person, you throw all of that out of the window because, you throw all of that out of the window and you're like, oh man, he got, the sixes, I can tell that he beats this, but you threw all those qualities that you said that you wanted out of the window. And here goes, me like, hey, wait a minute. You said that this is what you wanted, yes, he may possess other things that you didn't list on that form. But however, if you're actually looking for the person of that's going to be of best interest to you, make sure that you stand firm on those qualities that you ask for. Don't bend. Yes, you can be flexible on certain things. We're going to be flexible. There's certain things that you're willing to take from somebody that the next person may not be. However, you want to make sure that you stand firm on that foundation of what you said that you wanted. So that's how we kind of say, hey, make sure that you are not just looking on the outside, the exterior part, but looking for the interior and looking for exactly what you said that you wanted. Then we talk to them about, sometimes like I've had clients where I'm like, it may be best for you to speak to the therapist because we have therapists that we, do a partnership with. So at the end of the day, once the therapists have talked to you, you've worked, out with them, whatever things that you need to deal with. Because sometimes, healing is a journey. Sometimes you're not you may think that you're ready, but you're really not. And although it's not I don't feel that it's my job to say that you're ready or you're not ready, but there are signs that you present with that, will be worrisome. It's probably best that you talk to somebody who has the clinical background to actually say whether or not, this might be a good idea for you to go after. Should you wait to date and work on you a little bit and then, re-enter the dating field? It's not important. It's not as important for me to have the client into a room in a speed dating event than it is for me to make sure that they're absolutely ready to be in that room. Yeah.
I think that, and I was wondering that because I do feel like that's a very important part. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
And, I think that takes, emotional awareness. Or, emotional intelligence. It takes self-awareness, self-reflection, being okay with accepting certain things about yourself and knowing what you actually want. Because I think that to me, from my perspective, that was the biggest problem I would see with people, all my friends.
Gotcha.
Or even part of why I started doing this. That's why I like what you got going on, because I think people really actually need that and they don't realize it. There's so much people who walk around with pain and trauma and have no idea it's trauma.
That affects everybody in your life.
They're like, well, I'm trauma. Well, I said, no, you got used to it. You got so used to it being there that you don't know it's there no more.
Well, and what I mean? Now that you say that, I'm going to bring up something. Yeah. My sister and I was talking about this same exact thing. If you are in a relationship with someone and they cheat on you and you guys decide to stay together, that's a trauma that you created. Okay. That's a hurt that you created. And if you decide to stay with that person, if you guys decide to continue on in the relationship, I feel like it's the duty of that person to make sure that you reassure and that you have to show them grace. Right. You have to, sometimes get them time because you broke a level of trust. And if you decide to stay, it is then just as much of your duty as that person, going to a therapist and getting help to recover from what you did, to make sure that you reassure them that, hey, this is what I really want this. And if it takes me, saying, hey, this is where I'm at, I'm going to this place, or, I spoke to this person so that it doesn't come up in the future and cause any more insecurities or cause any more problems. It's your obligation. If you're going to stay with them, that's a trauma that you created. And if you decide to stay, it's almost just as much as your part to make sure that you put in the work so that you can help your partner recover from that. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I've had the conversation with a lot of my homeboys, like a lot of them. And I'm like, bro, we'll be out. we were out. I'm watching this phone ring. I'm like, answer your phone. I see the name. Go ahead and answer. I said, what do you mean she's tripping? I said, bro, just tell her where you're going. You're with me. She knows I'm a pretty good guy. Just say where you're going. No, because she blew me up because of... I said, but you created this. Oh, yeah. You made this. I ain't did nothing like... You try to make it seem like we crazy. You know how wild that sounds to say that I have not done nothing in this long? Oh, yeah. Like, can you handle what she's going through right now? And granted, he looked at me like, come on. No, I'm being serious. Like, can you handle it? Most likely not. But the fact that she's doing it, you have to understand, you can't time it. You can't say, well, this happened this time. Get over it. Right. You have to put the work in to make that individual feel comfortable and get back to it. Like, you have to walk towards her the entire time. Most of the times, I can admit, when I was a younger guy, if I made a mistake, not even necessarily a crazy mistake like cheating badly, but just something that made my partner feel crossed, I used to kind of like, I'm going to give you space. You crossed the boundary. I'm going to give you space. And then, until I got older, I realized I need to walk towards you. Oh, most definitely. I need to walk. Every chance I get, I have to walk towards you in your pain. Agree. Or in your moments or you feel in a certain way, so that way you understand, look, I know I messed up. I know I did it. I'm here. What you need, like whatever. If I gotta be the punching bag at the moment, I'm not saying you destroy me, but if I gotta hear it and it makes me feel bad, all right, cool. I'm gonna stand next to you because this is how you feel. That's one of the things that I learned from. I shared with you that I was divorced, right? One of the things that I learned in my during my marriage was the first part of my marriage. I didn't know what a wife, truly was. I had an example. My parents were married. My mom, of course, to me, until you see something different, was the best wife there is, And not saying that she was a bad wife, but that was my example. My grandmother and my granddad, my aunts and my uncles. Right. I knew, what I saw them do, and I knew what they were. And that was my example. However, especially being Black and growing up in a Black church, they want you to be a wife, but nobody actually teaches you how to be a wife. So my first part of my marriage, that woman that, tore him down verbally. And it took me years for me to learn that tearing a man down verbally, it will take an act of God to heal him, especially when it comes from a woman that he loves.
Mm-hmm. You don't talk to nobody. So.
Yes. That he loves. If you love him and you tear him down, you are next to God to him and you are tearing him down. It will take an act of God in order to heal him from it. So I learned that, but of course I learned that after I was married. And it was years after I was married. But I also learned that if I could not, submit to this man, like submission should be natural. If you cannot submit to them and it's naturally, if you have to force it, it ain't meant to be. It shouldn't be forced. Correct. Then going through the whole process of, okay, I even took a class. It was called Apples of Gold. They, it's through my church. They taught you how to be a wife. You did cooking classes. We did, and it was all based on biblical terms. Out of Titus, we took cooking classes. We did Bible study, and it was a group of women, engaged, married women, some that were just in a relationship and looking to be married, preparing you to be a wife. Took that class, graduated. I'm a wife now. Okay. So I utilized that. And after that, we did a vow renewal. Did the vow renewal. And after doing the vow renewal, at that time I knew I was ready, to for real commit to you. Right. So, but all the trauma from, as you said before, when we tear them down, if you tear them down, it's our job to build them back up. And it sometimes it's going to take God. It definitely is going to take God, especially if you are at the hand of tearing them down.
Yeah, there's a clear difference. I feel like, we come together, but we have different roles that get to the same end goal, right? Mm-hmm. But we are biologically different in the way we view things, how we see things.
Agreed.
How on the outpour of something bad happening, how we react to it, or what you can handle, we can't. Mm-hmm. There's certain things we're different about. So definitely, I would agree with the fact, especially if a man's willing to put his shield down, because
being vulnerable,
we put it down.
Right.
For us to put our shield down is a scary, hard thing. It's not easy. We won't do it for anybody. And if we do it, and you don't take to it or take heed to it, it throws us off.
We created a beast.
We don't even know who to talk to.
You created a beast.
Yeah, you created something because it's like, I can't. Now my difference, now the way I react to things is more so of like proving you wrong compared to, let's figure this out.
I'm right, yeah.
It's not, what I mean? I can even say, for instance, in my past, and I'm way, way past this, but like, I was young. My first relationship was extremely long, with my son's mother. It was a long, long time, whatever. But let's say hypothetically speaking, the situation happened with finances, right? Mm-hmm. And I was young. I was still getting myself together. You know what I mean? But as I started making progress financially, it wasn't to see what I got for us. It was more so I told you I can do that. Mm-hmm. I told you I can do this. And it wasn't the same. It wasn't, you know what I mean? I wasn't delivered the same way and my views weren't the same. And, that's just one thing I can say, just even being younger, especially when we're dating when we're younger. We don't really have much experience. All we have is what we go through at that moment with a person who's not experienced either. You know what I mean? So we're both,
learning it together.
And learning, you know what I mean? So yeah, I can definitely say it's definitely different for us, but we also don't necessarily have all of the tools in place to know how to deal with it. I can tell her
if you got a woman who is standing beside you and supporting you through the entire thing, the ups, the downs, especially if that woman is building with you. Right. You should at least be willing to drop your guard. If you got a kid with them.
Right.
At the end of the day, if they've shown you, regardless of what happened in the past, if they've shown you that they're down and they are there through the ups and downs, I don't see why it would be that hard of a task for a man to drop his guard. It shouldn't be.
Right, initially. I would say that, but dropping it again. Actually, matter of fact, I wouldn't say that. Dropping it again probably will happen again too, because we know you're there. We done put in time. I know you down for me. But at some point, if it keeps on being dropped, let's even like swap in different directions. If I keep dropping the ball when it comes to my woman, at some point she was like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
and not, you messed up if you let a woman check out.
Yeah.
Especially if we done told you 1,000 times. Oh, and now you get it. And you want to pull out all these stops. 9 times out of 10, if a woman tell you it is over, way before she told you it was over, she had already checked out. It's been over.
I think it's more clear.
And I can speak for a woman.
I think it's more clear when a woman checks out than when we check out.
You think so?
Yeah.
Not so. Because we can check out. We can still feed you.
Right.
Still come to the job award ceremony and sit next to you. Right. Still go to the church house and be with you.
I can see that.
Still bring you lunch and be that person, but has mentally checked out and emotionally checked out. Mm-hmm. And I truly feel like once you have lost the respect of a woman, if that woman loses respect for you, you done, brother. It don't have nothing to do with love. You lose respect and loyalty, you're done. So, there ain't no coming back from that. Can it be that, okay, yeah, we're gonna work on it. We can work on it. You could, but the chances of you getting back to where you were or getting anything close to it is very slim to none. If she has lost respect for you and there's no loyalty in it, I don't care how much you love you and how much you love her, that ain't about to work. There's no man that's going to tolerate a woman who's being disrespectful to them. And there's no woman that's going to tolerate a man who has been constantly disrespectful. Right. Has constantly showed that you aren't loyal to me. Right. I don't care how much you love him. Once she has checked out from that aspect and she can't show you love and there's no loyalty, she knows that there's no loyalty to her, she done, brother. There ain't no more love.
Okay, so I'll add to that then. If that's the case, if a woman's capable of, when she checked out, still doing certain tasks, I said, so that means that you can still kind of act as if you're into something.
Yes. We good at it. Y'all not.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I said I think it's clear when we kind of check out, we're not really, we'll let stuff fall. We'll just let it fall because we're not clear. So I think that, we kind of show it faster. Like when we kind of checked out. I think we show it. Like we'll just fail. Like
it's not that we checked out and okay, this is over type thing. Or we stay in a little bit longer. We checked out, but we checked out of this relationship physically and emotionally. Right. However, in the back of our mind, we got this plan going, okay? We setting up our bag, we getting ourselves together because at the next thing you look, we out of here, okay? And you looking like, well, wait a minute. She was just at, we was just at my mama's house at the cookout. Everybody thought we was good. She seemed to be good, but yet she been done. Right. You wasn't listening. And especially if you are not showing any progress, like we ain't building. That's another thing about the whole dating thing. You got to constantly date them, even though you married them, even though you're committed, because marriage ain't for everybody. Even though you committed to them, you still have to date them and show them the reason why you chose them. And I feel the same way for a man. Now, a woman should be doing the same thing because I'm going to throw it down for my man. Make sure that, I show him that he appreciated. Make sure that that he knows that I'm going to be that respectful woman inside your face, outside your, in your presence and outside your presence. Right. However, once we done checked out, we checked out, brother. Now we can pretend and do all this stuff for you. And it's a facade. You are putting on a facade to make sure that you make it to that finish line. Whatever finish line that may be. It may be you getting your money together to get your place. Right. It may be, you mentally preparing yourself to exit this relationship and finding your exit plan. But once you done checked out, you are done. She can pretend. We can pretend. Y'all can't.
Yes, I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. I think we kind of agree on it. Yeah. So when we do it, we don't have plans. And then honestly, usually when that happens, when we have checked out, we don't necessarily. We'll let things fall, seem a bit confused about it, and then when you move on, no, don't go. I don't know. But I think that's a different thing. I think it's a sense of ownership. Like somebody else is about to get what's mine. Like. I think a lot of guys have that fear.
Oh, that's selfish.
It is, but
that's selfish.
But you gotta think about, from this standpoint, for us to be leaders and for us to go after something, right? Because traditionally we go after what we want. Mm-hmm. We go after it, right? So if we go after something that we want, we feel a sense of ownership or feel that this is mine. We have to have that. We have not like you're like. We run your life. It's just your mind.
You belong to me. However, act like it. Okay?
I agree.
In your words and in your actions. Okay? Put me first. Act like it at all times. Not when now you know that this show is over. Now you want to pull out all the stops. Oh, you want to go get the ring. Oh, you want to you wanted this. You want this. You want that. Nah, what I wanted it a long time ago. It's a little bit too late for that now.
I agree. I tell my partner all the time, hey, you need to have a sense of urgency for her.
Yeah.
You know what you mean? I said, you need to have a sense of urgency. I promise you cannot handle. She goes.
Oh yeah.
You cannot handle.
Especially if you got a good one. If you know that this woman has been everything. That's why I say I'm intentional about mine, Sonny. I can't give you part of. If I'm leaving, you're gonna hurt from you gonna feel my absence.
Right. I agree. And if a person can't see it, then maybe she's not for you. I mean, totally. Even for guys, I'm saying, I think that's part of dating as well. A lot of guys, I think, are dating for the wrong reasons. Or, I'll use like an old school way of thinking. Like, when I was younger, like I think I was on the base or whatever, and we were in like after school summer camp. Mm-hmm. A lot of the girls used to have like lists of things they already wanted. I'm like, you already have a list? My list
it's
was
funny
like,
that you say that.
but my list was like, all right, Moesha. Like,
my eyes is detail.
Yeah, but I was like, I want Moesha. That's how I remember I was like, Brandy. I was loving Brandy's account. I love Brandy. So I was like, Moesha. You know what I mean? Like, it was more based off of attributes and like guy things, but it wasn't nothing specific. Mm-hmm. I never worked on that list ever again as I got older. Oh
man, you know listen, I mean? Now Terry, you talk about a list. I got what to top that. Okay, I will never forget. I think I might have been in maybe like third grade. I know the teacher's name, Mrs. Gibbs. Miss Gibbs had us, first day of school, you draw your picture of what you want to be when you grow up and all this stuff. And I put on my paper, I'd never forget. Now, this is old school, okay? This is when we used to get our behind tore up in school. This is when the principal and the teachers could beat you behind. This is when they could snatch and pinch you before they, limit corporal punishment. I put on my paper that I wanted to be a wife when I grew up, okay? That's all I ever wanted to be a wife, okay? And I knew what I wanted my husband to do because my dad made sure that my mom was good. My mom didn't have to work, She was a stay-at-home mom and she did whatever she wanted to do. It was leisure for her to work, he opened up a shop for her to do her embroidery work. She did it because she wanted to do it. It was fun. It was something that get her out of the house. And It wasn't like she had to do it. Mm-hmm. Some days she would be closed. People would bring the stuff to the house for her to fix. But I wanted to be that wife, and that's all I wanted to be. So it's funny that and I had my list, okay? Mm-hmm. My husband had to make sure that he worked. He had to make sure that he provided for me and my children. He had to make sure that he was going to be a leader in our house. And these are expectations that I had because I saw it in the men that were, the influential men that were in my life. My dad, my uncles, my brothers, because I have some brothers that are a little bit older than me. So I wanted that. And I had already started my list. For some of us, especially women, we start writing down. And again, about being intentional. That's one of the things that we do at my events. When I just had an event the other day, I made sure that I buy journals for the women. Right. And write a letter to your future husband. Like, manifest that man, manifest that in writing, and be what it is that you want to be that you want in a husband. Be that wife for him. Start being that now. Manifest it now. You do that in your actions. You do that with your words, and you be intentional about it. So for us, for some women, we intentional about it. Your list was other women. My list was, this is what I want my husband to be like, okay? And I was like a little kid. I might have been like second, third grade. I can't remember what grade she taught, but I'll never forget her name, Ms. Gibbs, because when I wrote that paper and drew that thing with my kids and my husband in it, Ms. Gibbs was like, you so fast, and pinched the heck out of me, okay? So I remember, and you're right. We write that list, and I think that's important. Make sure that you have a list of what you want and what you expect in a partner, but also be that person. Like, you need to be able to match that. Now, all this, I want 6 figures. I want him to be 6 foot tall. Honey, give me the short, fat guy any day, okay? That's 6 foot tall. You got, what's his name? Blueface Baby, or whoever his name is, right here, 6 foot tall. Look what he doing. Making 6+ figures. Look what he doing. Be intentional. Yes, write the list, but be realistic and make sure that you could be, what it is that he needs you to be. Also, be that person now. So,
right. If you're that person, you can display that person. You also can, if
you're gonna attract them.
You can exactly, and you also while you're dating, you let him know who the person is. He can make a choice,
right?
Because I feel like even with a, like I said, we can't ignore the fact that some guys are liar good at lying.
Oh yeah, man. Some women are good liars.
I would say the same thing. We can't ignore that. But
I think we better.
Fear of dating,
okay,
I believe.
A good one.
But that's the fear. But if you're not willing to take a risk at looking for love, that's the problem. But that's why you're supposed to vet.
It's risky. Like it's a risky business.
You can't ignore that it is. But if you're not willing to risk it, then you shouldn't jump in.
There you go.
You know what I mean? If you're not willing to, then you shouldn't be doing this. You know what I mean?
Totally
I can even admit to you, like, you know, I told you I was in a long situation, and then I went through maybe 5 years just by myself. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had situations, but I was learning myself.
Right.
I was rebuilding myself, figuring who I am, finding my new value to myself, and then being very particular about what I wanted because I didn't know what I wanted. I had no idea. So as I was working on it, I was dating, but I also was trying to figure out, okay, well, who am I and how do I just give it?
But you got to be honest. We talked about this before. You have to be upfront with these women. Like, if this is just me trying to, you know, date to figure myself out, say that. Women will take that stuff better if you tell me up front. Tell me up front what it is. Don't surprise me and say, well, you know, I didn't want that. We just cool. We chilling. Nah, you should have stated that from the beginning.
And I bring that for that reason. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm a very observant guy. Just even for my trade, I'm very observant. I have to be that way. So I was that way. I learned, I'm like, you know what? All my problems in the past when I wasn't very straight up. I'm going to say what's up.
Tell them from the get-go. Some women accept it.
Right. But now if I say what's up and you act crazy, I'm like, I don't feel bad. I'm sorry.
There we go.
I can't.
But give them the option, because for everybody we talked about the whole dating thing. The whole dating concept, the concept of what dating means is not the same thing for everybody. Culturally is different.
Yes.
Sometimes racially is different. You know, in certain demographics, in certain areas, people are like, oh, you know, he can't be talking to me and talking to them. No, that's what dating is. He's supposed to be talking, but the problem comes in when he don't tell you that he talking to her.
He doesn't tell you.
Okay.
If you're not telling somebody, it seems sneaky at that point.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, you know you're doing something.
It ain't. It's not seeming. You doing it wrong.
My partner tell me all the time, like, hey, how do you do what you do? I'm like, what do you mean? You talk to this. I'm like, for one, I'm dating.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
Tell him.
And at the end of the day, I feel like if a woman really wants you, she's gonna talk to you regardless.
As
long as I give them the truth about it, and she wants to deal with me, she will deal with me.
Right. Give her the option and put the stuff out on the table. If you are upfront and full, you know, put it out on the table and say what it is that you want or what you're doing, what your intentions are, I don't see a problem. Allow her to be that person to say, okay, well, you know, I understand. Yeah. That means she has the option of doing the same thing. You aren't situationships. You aren't entering into a situationship where you think that you in this relationship with this one person and he out here talking to, you know, Tanya and Paula, and you sitting here only talking to him. No.
But I will say though, by doing that, you have to still be responsible. All right, so like, if we're in a relationship, we're still growing. True. We're still evolving, so we have to have conversations to see who the person is. I think also in dating, we have to keep evolving as well.
True.
So if I tell you that, and I notice things you're doing, I used to call it temp checks. If I notice you're doing things that are a little outside of the space that I've created, that I told you, hey, this is what it is, you accepted it, and I see you doing things outside of the space, I'm like, hey.
Now what's the stuff? You see her doing what? What's the stuff?
Let's see. How about this? That smile's a little different. Like let's say the smile was a little like true happiness. Like I don't mean like.
Well, but wait a minute. She's supposed to be happy.
But like it's the different happiness. Like I found him. Like wait. I'm not him.
Nah.
No. Think about it now. If I present to you that, hey, I'm not in the space right now to move forward. Are you okay with this?
Yeah.
I'll take you out. We'll have dinner. I'll be nice.
That's dating.
I'll be respectful to
and
you.
That's expected. Right. If you there's a different quality of men.
Right, but the thing is, like, I present that, but the fact that I think also because of what's going on in this world, that where the bar's been set so low, some of my normal practices seem like a lot. So they're like, oh, I gotta hold on to him. I'm like, well,
then that's a problem for you, sir.
That's my do I temp checks. That's why I do my temp. No,
that's a problem for you because you can't be giving. What will make me feel any special if you giving? Oh, honey,
be surprised.
Look.
Listen, just open. One time I opened.
You don't have one of my clients. That's what it is.
Right. Listen, I remember one time I was picking somebody up. I came in her house. I walked into my car. I opened the door. She laughed. I said, "What?" She's like, "That's so gay." I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?"
Yeah,
She's like, "Oh." I was like,
and if you don't do it, I'm gonna teach you. I'm big on that. Like chivalry, it definitely ain't dead.
Not, but it's
for me.
For a lot
and
of
it's an expectation for me. And if you don't do it, I'm gonna show you how to do it. I'm gonna stand to that door until you open the door. Okay, I ain't opening it. You sometimes got to teach people how to treat you.
But it's true. Or I remember I cooked one time. I cooked whatever, and I sat at the table. I said it. I was cooking. You came in my spot.
That's the standard.
I cooked. That was like, I never had somebody cook with me before. I'm like, I cook a lot. I like cooking. But in my mind, my grandmother really raised me with etiquette a lot. Mm-hmm. So I've always moved a certain way. So and that's normal to me. So a lot of my normal ways to certain people I've realized was extra for them. But I think it's regular. I say, if you think this is special, I haven't done nothing yet in my mind. But I'm not going to do the extra.
But that's not a temperature check. At the end of the day, if you know that your whole intentions were just to be dating, there's no, my outcome of this is not to enter into a relationship. I just want to get to know people. That sounds like you're having fun. That means that you need to make sure that you find somebody as well that want to have fun. Okay. But right. if she clearly tells you, hey, I'm looking for a boyfriend,
I move on.
Then move on. Now, you shouldn't have to do no temperature checks after that.
But the thing is, it happens because
when we start going crazy because you temperature checking me for a reason.
Yeah, I told her. She told me. I feel like you're trying to say I'm a dumb. No, some of the things you're doing makes me think that you're thinking something more.
Nah, because that means that at that time you wasn't ready. You wasn't ready for the relationship. You shouldn't have been out here talking to nobody, daughter. Okay, nobody, daughter.
I was ready to not be with anybody. That person said they weren't ready to be with anybody. I assumed they were ready because of what they said. They were okay with it. And then when they started asking for more stuff out of me, I'm like, that's a little extra. I have to
she kind of confused. She probably was just testing to see what we could.
Oh, that's where the temp check comes in. Hey, is everything all right? How you feeling?
Probably not.
And when the person gets mad at me, I'm like, all right. I think we should kind of take it easy.
Yeah.
And then I get really flipped out on. So it's like, okay, I get it. You know what I mean?
We're getting our feelings.
I think temp check is important. If I notice something different, well, all right.
You temp check a person you in a relationship with. I ain't temp checking nobody that I'm not entertaining, or I'm not even gonna say entertaining. There's no need for you to temp check a person who you are just dating.
What do you consider a temp check? I feel like
if you asking them, how things are going, where do you think we are? That's to me is a temp check. And for somebody that you're dating, unless you are dating that person with the intent to enter into a relationship, there's no need to temp check them. We having fun.
Exactly, but I could also ghost you. But I choose.
Well then you get the crazy. I mean,
exactly.
that's
so I don't. Ghost.
Then you get the crazy.
So I don't ghost. I'm like, hey, you seem a little different now. What's going on? And the person might say, hey, I think I'm ready for more. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, then at this point, I might have to back away because you told me you were in the same space I was.
Right.
Now, granted, you're allowed to grow and evolve. Maybe we reached our expiration date.
Of course,
I respect that. But I will have to ask the question because I don't want somebody to feel like I'm leading them on.
True. But at the end of the day, if you were obviously, in the process of just dating and you were just dating for fun and you stated that, there shouldn't be a problem. I agree. We are emotional beings.
There we go. Let's
okay? Go. We are emotional beings. I don't care who get mad at it. We are emotional beings. And sometimes, now there are some women, because I have some friends. I got some sisters, okay? Like for real blood sisters. I have some friends that are like, I can cut them off. I even say to them that, man, you act like a dude. Like, I really feel like you should have been a man. Because there's no way for me, I can't say, oh, we was talking today and we doing this. We went on a vacation together. I ain't going on a vacation with somebody who I'm just dating. We got to be in a relationship. Because that right there is an emotional tie, okay? We experiencing some real life shit right now. And at the end of the day, I ain't no experience that with just about the person who I'm dating. No, you either we in, again, that's why I say we either all in or all out.
I think that's also based off of, I guess, what when I say capacity, I don't mean like your limit, but like the things that you're willing to move in, right?
Yeah.
There's certain people who are willing to be in different type of relationships.
True.
You know what I mean? And I can even say for myself, I feel like I'm a type of individual. Like, I'll be real with you. At one point in time, I was working on like a harem. Like, I was working on having multiple, and we all know each other. We're comfortable with it. That was something I was focusing on and working on it because I had that type of feeling. I mean, you can really talk to another guy, and I really won't be
to each his own.
But that's
not
me.
for this system.
You know what I mean? But that was me. We have to meet in those terms. Whatever terms we meet in, I'm able to keep it going.
True.
So, but I found with certain people when I was being a certain way, and they were like not understanding.
They kind of switch up on you.
Yeah, or I remember
because you get in your feelings. You start to experience feelings, and that's normal. We are human beings. Exactly. But for women, I mean, y'all sometimes can compartmentalize things and say, okay, I'm gonna put this thing in this box. I'm gonna put this in this space. Oh, I don't have to worry about this. I'm gonna put it there. Where for us, it's always running. Even though you say, we say, okay, yeah. I know I'm entering into this and he don't want nothing serious. It's kind of hard for us to just cut it off. Some of us, it's hard for us to just cut it off and say, okay, cut my feelings off. This is just going to be for fun.
And I think that's both, but I also think that's both people's responsibility. That's why I say I do a temp check, and I also feel like if you're feeling more, say something to me. Or clarify. You might say to me like, hey, I think
communication.
Right. So I think that's also part of dating as well. I think we're vibing. I'm feeling like it could be more. Do you feel the same way? I might say, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. You know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean? Like, but I just think again, communication should be strong, healthy communication, and be honest and straightforward. Now, if you deal with an individual who doesn't have good communication skills or is nervous, it puts them in a bad predicament because me just asking the question, hey, what space are you in right now? I might not even be trying to shut you out. I might just be trying to just figure it out like, hey,
where you at?
Let's try. Maybe we can work towards this next space. I think I might be feeling where you're coming from, or I might say, "Hey, look, I don't want to ruin you. I don't want to."
That's respect.
Hurt us or hurt you.
Teach that to a lot more of them.
I try.
That's respect.
A lot of my, I'm telling you, that's why I said. Some of my homeboys said, "Hey,
that's
you
respect."
Start a thing. I'm like, why? You're like, because you be saying stuff flat out, but you were really straightforward. I'm like, bro, I don't have any stress. Yeah. Anybody who does stress me, I get them out of the way because obviously you didn't hear what I said or you didn't believe me. If you don't believe what I'm telling you, then you're not ready for me.
Right.
Or I've stopped talking to women in my life in the past because I was like, and they couldn't understand it. And I said, hey, what's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. I don't think anything's wrong with you at all. I'm not in that space. And I was ready to move up, but certain questions or certain things or perspectives you already had told me you don't have the experience I have. So I'm like, I don't think you're ready for me. What do you mean? You know me guys older like me? That hurt my feelings a little bit. I was like, hey, not at all.
But she ain't yours, okay? You dating.
Right, but I said also that has nothing to do with anything about somebody's emotional intelligence.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that.
Ready for me. I don't think you're ready for what I got to offer and what I'm bringing. You need to live a little bit before you talk to me. And I think that's honest and okay.
I think that's
without just disappearing. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. When I was younger, I would just just disappear and see a person out about like, hey, how you doing? Hey,
Nah, I'd be like,
give a hug. Hey.
Can I talk to you real quick? Nah. Back then, I probably would have. Now, it's your loss.
Yeah, I'm trying to say, especially the space I'm in now, talking all this stuff right here. Yeah, I'm good, guys. Listen, I ain't gonna be the next Derek. What's the dude? Derek Jackson. I would not be that guy. You can't put nothing on me. Yeah. I'm out the way. But I just feel like people should be honest. And not take rejection or certain things the wrong way. Because sometimes I think not how you reject somebody can be horrible. The way you do it, like
rejection is rejection. Okay,
it's not gonna feel great.
Rejection is rejection. It doesn't feel great. No, rejection will never feel good. I don't care how you put it. I don't care how you say it.
I mean, I try to put it in a good perspective.
There's no way that you can put rejection in a good perspective.
I think you can.
I don't like you. Okay, we've been doing all this stuff together. I know we did all this. We shared all these moments, but it's not gonna work. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be like, okay, I'm good. We could just be friends.
No, get some ice cream or something, or watch a movie.
Get the heck out of my face, okay? You done sit here and waste my time. Baby, there's nothing that we can talk about. There's nothing that you need to say to me outside of that. And then let me be in my space and heal from it.
Right.
And then maybe, because you were honest and upfront about it, I can respect you. I wouldn't lose respect for you, but it's going to hurt.
But ultimately, you have to... So I like to say this all the time. Find the beauty in the pain.
There ain't no beauty in pain. When we get our hair braided, it's beautiful, okay? It hurt like hell.
Beauty in pain.
But there's no damn beauty in pain. During the whole process, I got to be around here taking medicine, holding my head to the side. I can't leave there's no beauty in that, okay? Now, we look beautiful.
All right, you keep saying it, though.
Sure. But that is not, the process of being in pain is nothing beautiful about that.
When you're lifting weights, they say no pain,
no gain. That's bullcrap. If
you don't go through pain, you don't get
That's just a mind thing to fool your head up to make you do what you have to do and finish it.
Your brain, your mind kicks off dopamines when you're lifting weights.
All right, speak my language, sir. I'm a nurse.
Right.
So I speak that language.
So when it kicks it off, I can say for myself, when I start lifting weights, the pain I used to feel lifting, and I'm like, afterward, I'm like, in the beginning it was something, but after I started getting the gains out of it, I started looking for it.
Okay.
Because it was giving me more strength.
But do you also now have to lift a certain amount of weight? Right?
Yeah.
To even feel that pain.
I have to go more.
There we go. So there ain't nothing to do with no beauty and no pain, because you're going to constantly keep putting yourself in pain just to get that beauty. Hell no.
Wait. All right. There's difference. If I'm trying to gain more than I had before, then I have to get more pain.
I'm not about to go sit in the African's chair after she done snatched my edges and I'm in straight pain. And because my hair pretty, I'm going to go back to her? Hell no. I'm going to go to the next person who does the same style that does not make my head pound. My heart, my pulse be pulsating in my head. That had nothing to do. I don't give a dang what lasts longer. If it's painful, I'm not going back to it.
All right.
There's no beauty in that.
That falls in what I said, though. It's because the initial pain taught you something. It taught you like, I can get this same pain. I can take this pain but get the same beauty. But I can do less and get the beauty as well. If I'm lifting weights and I'm trying to get buff, I have to lift more. If I want to be lean, I lift high reps. It's not hard. Gotcha. I figure out my thing. So every lesson's still a blessing regardless. Well, so even
I'm agree with you on that one.
Right. So
every lesson, there is a blessing.
Right.
But that ain't no beauty in them.
Good or bad lessons. A bad lesson can give you something. You can learn something. Yeah. Or let's say even the idea of rejection, because we were talking about rejection, right? Mm-hmm. If I reject a person, yes, it sucks. But maybe that was God stepping in, or even stepping in and saying, "Hey, this guy's not for you."
But it's gonna hurt.
But no, that's what I said. You got to find the beauty in it. All right, now. So in my mind, in my perspective, I say to myself, if I get rejected, something about that job, I get rejected. Something about that job wasn't right for me. True. Something about that job.
That's the maturity in you. We know that maybe that wasn't for me. I mean, you want to make sure that you pray and ask for, God to have his way. If that's not his way, then clearly he saved you from something. Sure. But there's still no good part of being rejected by anybody, especially somebody that you love. Whether it's the man rejected a woman or woman rejected a man, it's painful.
How do you get that? How do you get that far for the person? So when you say rejection with somebody you love, that's somebody you've been with, and at some point they stop.
Okay,
when you first meet somebody, no love is associated with it. But
no, you're right. But there's still emotions attached.
You can't avoid the pain aspect. That's why I said find the beauty within it. You can't avoid it.
Afterwards.
But life's not. But exactly.
Afterwards.
But that's the outcome.
Long time after.
It can be. But all right, I agree. For most people.
Yeah.
But if you put yourself in the mind state of understanding that when something happens or occurs a certain way, and at some point I'm gonna be out of it, the process of healing comes faster. True. So, for instance, when I was younger, I think that's also the reason why my mind's weird like that. When I was little, when I was young, I remember I found $20 outside. Mm-hmm. Picked it up, grabbed it. I was lit. I was like, I'm buying all type of stuff.
But you probably at that time you probably could buy all kind of stuff.
Right. But when it happened, is right afterwards, a lot of bad things happened to me.
True.
And I was like, dang, that's my
ain't
karma.
No good come out of it.
As a kid, I was like, that's my karma. Like I remember I was coming back off the bus, I was walking, and it was a horrible day for me. I'm like, karma. And I did it again. Something else happened. I found something. I come back. It's a bad day again. It must be karma. But when I started doing it, I started recognizing that my actions had something behind it. But I also used to feel as if this moment would never end. The bad moments, like I go home to my mom and she's going to tear me up.
Okay.
But I used to think it was the end of the world. Like, I'm not going to get over this. My life's over. But I got over it.
You will, but it takes time.
So the more I started practicing the idea of knowing that whatever I go through, I'm going to get past it at some point.
True.
I stopped being so concerned of what was wrong and focus on what I'm going to get out of it.
Some of us, it ain't that easy, brother.
I agree. But
it ain't that easy.
I just think it's your perspective. How I perspective. So if I get rejected, yes, and bear in mind, guys get rejected a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So we get,
and y'all getting y'all feelings like
some do.
You want to go and you know,
those lame guys.
Chop them because she said you can't have her number.
You ain't never been in, like,
okay.
Those guys are
you want to flip.
Yeah.
You mad.
Those little boys.
Nah, that's men.
Yeah. No, I mean,
y'all be getting y'all feelings.
No, those are adults.
And there ain't nothing attached to it. But because I said, and you feel like, oh, you the stuff, like she gonna want me. You know why she don't want me? You be in your feelings.
That's the little boy in them. That's what I'm trying to say. There's still a little boy in all of us. There's still if I go where my mother might go, you know, God rest my grandmother, the little boy comes out of you. It comes. So the little boy never leaves us. We just protect it the best we can. You know.
Well said.
So yeah.
So true.
So the guys who can't handle it, they haven't had enough tests or they haven't passed the test yet of figuring it out. I don't think you can possibly be a man truly unless you struggled and got through it. I don't think you know. I don't think you can be the man who leads anything if you haven't struggled in some way or some emotional turmoil. Any guy who can't manage their emotions, they're dangerous to anybody around them. You look at airplane pilots. They're on the phone. Hey guys, we're got a blah blah flight, and they're about to fly up 30,000 to 50,000 feet in the air, and their lives are in our hands, and they're calm as day. And even when it gets turbulent, hey guys, we're gonna have some turbulence. If he got on the thing,
that's to reassure you,
right?
Yes,
but if he got on the thing, hey guys, gotta get crazy, like what? Like it will throw everybody up. So I say that as like it's all perspective because I guarantee if I hop.
But some of us, we are. You could have a high sprung person like. And again, like for some of us who are intentional about our time, you could be definitely bothered.
Somebody definitely lost my life.
Okay, because that would be me. If I was on the airplane and I knew that we was about to hit this place, that we about to experience some serious turbulence, I would be like, hey, yo, we about to go through. I couldn't be a flight attendant. I couldn't be on the airplane. Okay,
well, you wouldn't get the job.
Nah,
the little questionnaires. Like,
there we go.
And
that's all a part of the vetting process. Back to dating.
Yeah,
there we go.
There we go. Situational.
I'm about to freak. Okay.
Very about a person. Yes. You know, but I'm a true believer that your mind is powerful, and you can. And the more you the more you dig into it and figure yourself out, the more powerful you become with how you control your emotions. True. You can't control all of them because you're a human being. But I just feel like in your actions and what you receive from it, you can take more time focusing on what's better than not. Like I said, I'm an engineer by trade. I have to fix stuff. I got into engineering and into the field with medical before I have my degree. Just because I'm very resourceful in my mind, the way I figure things out. Gotcha. And the main thing that the guy who trained me told me, he said, yo, you're very calm in moments. I said, well, if I'm not calm, I can't think. So I've practiced this keeping myself calm in hard moments so I can figure things out. I tell my son all the time, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. Be the most resourceful. Gotcha. Be the most resourceful because that smart guy, if he doesn't know it, he's not resourceful enough to get the answer. But if you're resourceful, you can get there. So I think even with us as people, as men, as women, and the way we conduct ourselves, we got to spend more time reflecting. If you end a relationship with somebody for 10 years, you need to give some time to yourself to reflect and figure out what the hell you did possibly wrong. Because you did something. There's no way you went 10 years. We all guilty of something. Yeah, but if that person did something really, really awful at the end, a lot of people just think about that one awful thing and nothing they did. Say that one more time. Nothing they did. That one person would think about all the stuff that you did that was good. You have wrote that off for that one bad thing. And that's a God. Honest truth. That's true. That resonates. Definitely resonates with me. I agree. And again, it's trauma. Oh yeah. Right? So you carry into relationship trauma from your family, from your mama, your dad, whatever the case might be, you carry that into it. And even after a long situation that was tugging your heart and making you be stupid, like it's traumaful. But you gotta take your time after that trauma and figure it out. Sure. Now I'll even admit to you, in my time and age when I was dealing with people, I'll admit I found more so I realized, okay, let me talk to a person who's got out of something. I realized when I talk to people who got out of something, they weren't looking for something right away. And I also knew I was a safe space for them. Right. I knew I was a person who would not take advantage of them. I would not disrespect them. And I also felt like I was doing some good because I would at least give you what you want. Heal through the trauma that they've been through. I'll show you how you're supposed to be treated in the meantime. I'll show you at least something. I'm not going to say I'm going to go above and beyond because I don't want to make you really fall.
Can't do too much to make
but
you feel like, I
like,
want you.
Yeah, but I have conversations. I talk to him and like, no, he did what? No, that's not how it works. Like, or there's your mistake right there when you thought that.
Right.
Way. Like, I at least try to talk to people and figure it out. And a lot of people are just hurt and don't resolve their problems. Most people who I met just have pain, whether it's guys or girls. Mm-hmm. I do this more so for guys, but I feel like if I talk to guys the way I talk to guys, women who are willing to listen can see, yeah, they got problems too.
Nah, you ain't about to talk to no woman and tell no woman the stuff that you gonna tell, especially you. No. Tell no guy. That's where I come in. You can't tell the stuff that you say to a man that it's okay. You can say this, do this. You tell a woman that.
No. I speak to guys. I just want you to
tell a woman there's beauty in the pain that he gave you.
No.
There's beauty in the pain that he caused you, ma'am.
No, I wouldn't say that. But I wouldn't say that. I'm just saying in general. Like, that's not a gender thing.
No. I'm just messing with you.
That's just
you said sarcastically woke. I'm woke. Sarcastically.
That hurt he gave you.
Okay.
You gonna find your king, baby girl. Like, I wouldn't do that. But I would tell a guy, like, hey, bro, like, you know, if I feel like he's hurting in a certain way, whatever, like, this needs to end. You can end up hurting somebody because of how you feel. Mm-hmm. And you're way too volatile. Yeah. You're way, like, you know, I've had conversations with guys when I'm recording the music. I'm recording them. That's where it kind of came from. I'm recording them, and their songs very, very insightful. I'm like, what? This is like a personal song? Like, yeah. And we start talking, whatever. He's like, I'm going to do something. He's still crying. I'm like, you know, and I don't shut people away when I feel like they get emotional. So I talk to them, and I've seen so many guys cry, you have no idea. And they don't even know which way to run with their emotions. Mm-hmm. They have no idea. I'm like, bro.
That's why it's important to actually have therapy and not when it has hit the fan. And in our culture, talking to the brown people, we need to not only seek the Lord, but seek some professional help. It's okay to go sit on the couch and talk to that person. They help us along with the Lord that we serve. Because there is no way that you can do it by yourself. And we need an outlet. And sometimes it's not good to talk to mama and daddy. And sometimes it ain't good to talk to that friend.
The trauma came from
them. And they might not be able to give you that sound advice that you need.
Your dad did the same? Mm-hmm. Whoa, what? Like,
yes.
No.
I told you just like him.
Don't give into
yes, it's going to make... I told you you shouldn't have been with them in the first place. That ain't what we need to hear.
Half our parents. I'm sorry. Half our parents is what we see from. Who do we pick up our idea of that stuff from? People who are closely around us. So obviously, it might not be you. You know, I can say I'm thankful for the fact that yes. Now I didn't see any perfect representation of a marriage ever.
Never?
No, never saw it. I mean, maybe like on TV shows, but
it's kind of bad when, especially speaking from my perspective. When a woman that was raised in a 2-parent household gets with a man who was raised by a single parent, whether that be a mom or a dad, it is kind of hard for us to enter into a relationship with them and expect for them to be for them not to be the example of what you saw growing up. Like, that is hard. That's a hard pill to swallow. That's a hard task for whether it's a woman or a man that's, you know, that was in, you know, a 2-parent household. That's a hard task for us to overcome, because that man, speaking from my perspective, that man is now, you know, clueless as to what it is to be, you know, a husband, because you didn't have that perfect example. And not saying that every relationship or your parents' relationship is perfect, but you didn't have an example of what what to start from, you know. You're learning it based off of what you see on TV or what somebody told you, or don't do that for your wife, don't do this. So it is important. Like, I feel like, one, you should kind of set the standards of what you expect from, you know, your husband, your wife, what it is that you're looking for. Before you actually enter that marriage. And I think it's important for you to actually go through couples therapy. That is important, whether you had the example or not, because then you know, one, how to communicate, what your expectations are. That homework that they give you is important. It's for real, like life work. And you are entering to a lifelong, you know, journey with this person. So it's worth the investment to get the outside help, and not from mama and daddy. Yes, you can use their, foundation of their marriage as an example, but don't live based upon what you saw them be, because then you are expecting for your husband or your wife to live up to that standard, and they may never.
Right.
They may never be that, but it's a good example to have, a 2-parent household to see whether that parent is married or not, whether they are or not, but you then get to see what the role should be like, for a husband, what the role, or for, a dad, for a mom. You get to see it. And hopefully it's a good example, and it's not something that you carrying some trauma from.
I guess I would add to that. That's a sad situation. I think there's more single parent households now.
Yeah.
So how are people learning those skills?
You had to have the influential, ask the man, for women, who are the influential men in your life? See what the example is, because 9 times out of 10, this fool gonna be some sort of each one of them. Okay. And are you willing to deal with some form of each one of those influential people? Because if he finds them influential, he found them influential for a reason. There's something from them. Right. If you in this room and you telling me that these are your friends, something about these friends you have inside yourself, And if you don't like what they are like, it might not be best for you to invest in this friend, or speak to that friend and say, hey, do you do that? You act like them. Do you do this thing? You think it's okay to do this? Find out why is this the influential person in your life? What part of them do you have in you? And that's a big thing for me. I want to see who do you find to be influential? Who are you spending your time with? Outside of me, who would you be spending your time with? Who is the influential person in your life? If your dad is a drunk, if your dad is doing this, 9 times out of 10, you probably feel like it's best for me to run to the bottle rather than me coming to you and talking through our problems or talking through my day. You run to the bottle because that's what you saw, and that's what your influential person does. So you do some of it.
I would say that's part of the vetting phase.
Yeah.
You get to see the way the person thinks. Mm-hmm. As you get closer to the individual, let's say maybe become exclusive, you learn more about their family, about what their perspective is of their.
But should you wait until you become exclusive? That's the part of the vetting process for me. I want to be in the space with your friends. I want to be in the space with your parents.
Right. If y'all move the proper way, then I do think in the initial dating phase you should get a chance. Again, people don't necessarily do it, but yes, while you're dating, communicating.
I'm not saying bring every man to your mama and daddy.
Right.
I'm not about to do that. But you might see some discernment.
A person might be dating 3 guys. I can't bring them all. Who am I picking?
Well, that's when you use the okay, this person is fun. We have fun together. I don't quite see a future with them, but
then definitely they don't show up then.
There we go. But this person has all of these qualities. I think he would fit well with my family. Right. Let's bring him in, because sometimes your family can help you vet him.
Yeah.
Your family can help. Now, some people you don't want to take no advice from, but sometimes your family can help you vet them, and sometimes they see something in them that you so blind that you don't see. You looking at the outside, you're looking at the experiences that y'all shared, and there's something in him that you miss. That old mama or grandma, could
say, hey, he's just
like some game.
He's just like the last guy. You know that, right?
Yes.
He's very.
You probably should run. Yeah.
What do you mean? He's like the last guy. But that's the beauty. I guess that's the true beauty of actually dating. And I think dating is actually it's like a skill, in my opinion, that you learn to get better at. You actually, you said, being intentional.
Yeah.
If you're intentional about something, if I'm about to apply for a job, I'm reading the description. I'm trying to understand the description of it. I'm trying to see what my role is. I'm really, really looking deeply into it. So if I'm dating somebody, I got to be intentional about what I'm doing, what I'm looking for, what I want, what I expect, how it's supposed to move. And then also verify that person gets it. But at some point, you might be the person who don't get it, yo, what do you mean?
Right.
I'm like, well, this is what I'm looking for. If you're not, and don't force it. If that person doesn't get where you are, leave. Just, what did you gain? You're not losing nothing.
Right.
Now, if it's just lust of the eyes, then you're using the wrong thing. But if it is lust of the eyes, just tell the person it's just lust. You know what I mean? And see how it works. Sometimes it works out. I feel like most time, like I said, being truthful and saying what it is.
Yeah, that you are looking for. If it's just a fun time, say it.
I had a homeboy. He's the worst example of somebody you utilize. He's had so much trouble.
Oh,
but he gave me the best advice, and I was like, bro. I said, why do you talk to everybody you meet? Like I've been on the phone with him. He's like, hey, what's up? Like he goes into like playing mode immediately. Like bro, all the time. I'm like, how do you do this? First, you're good at this. You're very good. I give you bravos with this. Secondly, like, why do you try so many people at one time? He said, bro, at the end of the day, he says the worst they can do is tell me no. And the second thing they can do is like, he says, at the end of the day, I'm very truthful. He says, if she wants to mess with me, she's gonna mess with me regardless. So why not? I put it all on the table every single time because I wanted it a lot. So he said he wants it a lot, so he wants to try it all the time, so he can get as much as he can. Okay. So he says, or he might try the same person more than once. He said, listen, at some point she might be willing to be a certain way. I'm ready for it. I'll be ready for it when it comes. And now, bro, I got the horrible side of it. I'm like, yeah, but what told me is like, yeah, if she's willing to deal with you, even if she might think you're below her, she'll give in. If you're truthful about what it is. So that way you're not.
Some people may.
Some
to each.
Now, bear in mind, he tries consistently, so he might try 5 times. The 5th time, she might be like, you know what? I done left this dude. It ain't working out. I don't care about you at all. What's up? Like that's
you get somebody when they're vulnerable.
But that's just my friend. But again, I'm not saying if you want to use it the wrong way. With great power comes responsibility. I'm just saying,
if you consider it to be a power.
well, being honest is a power for some people because they can't be honest.
True.
Because people feel like lying is a way is easier than telling
the truth. True.
And that's kids pick that up without even being told it. Mm-hmm. They like, well, shit, if I tell him this happened, I'm gonna get in trouble. Yeah. And he does not say it. So it is I think it is a
for every action, there's a reaction, right. Whether it's positive or negative.
Right, but
yes,
the responsibility of truth is sometimes going to hurt somebody's feelings. But I'm also doing you a favor because guess what?
We talked about that, right? Regardless of whether that hurt your feelings or not.
But I don't.
The truth is the truth.
But now I didn't waste your time. Now I didn't waste your time, and I gave you a chance for your rightful person to find you. Or I might tell you, yeah, something's not right. I think you should chill out. I can even tell you that. I've had somebody in my past where they were coming at me very, very hard. I'm like, you all right? Man, just come through. I'm like, yeah, something seems wrong. You want to talk? Like, let's just talk. Are you serious? I'm like, yeah. Something doesn't seem right about this.
She probably was balling up some energy that she was afraid to even
but I knew her
vocalize.
Right. I knew who she was. I know how she held herself and the way she was throwing herself in my direction. It wasn't the level that I'm used to seeing. Gotcha. So by me seeing it, I'm like, something's not right. And I'm a little older now. I'm not willing to take advantage of that or be responsible for something that volatile. Mm-hmm. So, hey, let's talk. What's going on? You know what I mean? Now, bear in mind, this person did not talk to me ever again after that. but
do you blame her?
But I feel like I might have shifted something or maybe prevented her from going somewhere the wrong direction.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I feel like I might have prevented her from even feeling something for me. Now I have to really be mean to you, and now you're even lower. I don't know what's going on. I just know something wasn't right. The energy wasn't right. It didn't feel right. And I'm like, this is not who you are. What's going on?
Right.
I'm not going to be the person to take advantage of it. I'm just not going to do it. And again, maybe you need somebody to tell you, chill out. Or maybe that rejection and me rejecting you might make you sit back and say, am I tripping right now? Oh,
make you reevaluate yourself.
Right. Mm-hmm. Feeling the pain.
There you go.
You in there, right? Listen.
Nah.
I walked you in
You will not get me to agree to that. There is no beauty in pain.
It was smooth.
Nah. You tried it.
Listen, I can do this 8 different ways.
Nah. You tried it.
I'll take you further next time. Don't worry.
Nah.
I don't know. But I think it's a responsibility to at least be mindful of people's feelings or how they feel. That's why, like, let's say somebody's drinking and they're being overly with you, like, I don't want to take advantage of you in this moment.
That's a responsible and respectful individual.
Right.
But also we all ain't like that.
Emotions can be intoxicating. Pain can be intoxicating. Being heartbroken can make you make some crazy
stuff.
It's intoxicating. it's some of the same, pain receptors.
Receptors, yes. Make you kind of cuckoo for cocoa puffs. Right. Okay, so, things that you wouldn't normally do. things that I never thought I would do, speaking from me, from a personal perspective, I never thought I would have done some of the things. I'm like, oh, she poured sugar in this tank. Oh, she did this. Well, why would you do some foolish stuff like that? Why would you go out to his job? Why would you say this? Why would you do that? Until you are in that situation, don't judge him.
Yeah.
Because there ain't no telling.
Stop it. Sorry. You good.
It ain't no telling what you would do when somebody hurts you to your core.
And that's
don't ever say what you would never do until you've been put in that situation. You never know. Because hurt can cause somebody to flip. Okay? Heartache can cause somebody to flip. That's why it's important. Be truthful. Up front.
So I've had this conversation with somebody, right? And I said it, I might need a better way of saying it. Mm-hmm. I'm working on it. But I told somebody, I don't put nothing past anybody.
You better not.
And anybody. And I say, and they're like, what do you mean? You don't trust? No, I'm not saying, I'm just saying the right conditions can turn you into anything.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? I'm trying to be very mindful of what I put out there because I know the right conditions can make you anything. It can make you crazy. It can make you kill someone. It can make you do anything horrible. So anybody's capable of being horrible, being overly sexual, vengeful. I've seen it all. So I just don't put nothing past somebody. So that's why I'm very mindful of what I say, how I interact with people, or what I receive from somebody.
Right.
That's why I temp check. Because I just feel like, and again, it's not just...
You would... You know what? I'm going to let you slide with the temp checks.
It's not...
Okay?
It's not
on the daters.
But it's
the
not
dating.
Just with dating. It's not just with dating. I temp check anybody.
Okay, temp checking my coworker. Temp checking. Let me creep in this house real quick. Mama in there cooking. I know she don't want me to touch her pot, but I'm a temp checker. That's cool.
Yeah.
Temp checking somebody that we just dating. Ain't no need to temp check because then you sending the false message. I really feel like at that point, if you already know you entered into this situationship or this dating experience as knowing that you are dating for fun or dating for marriage or dating for whatever that purpose may be, they ain't no need to temp check nobody after you know for a fact that we just having fun. Why I say?
Because some people's emotions can overpower logic. So since that's the case, if your emotions start creeping
but if you realize that, you just say, "Hey,
well, I could be wrong. So before I'm there, I would like to verify." And then now when I change I'm not going to cut you off. Now if you're going crazy, you got to.
Yeah, you're done.
But if I notice it's changing, and I do respect our conversations, and I think you're a great person, I want to keep you in my life the best I can.
Right.
Then I will have the conversation like, hey, like, where are you at right now? Like, how you feel, or like, you know what I mean? And just I'll try to see it because I respect you, and I also want you to understand, like, I don't want to take advantage of you.
Yeah.
And I know if your emotions are changing towards me, I got to do something to stop it at the moment because I can't cater to them the way you want me to. And I don't want to be that guy who breaks it again. I don't want to do it. Because I do know, and somebody who God rest her soul, who told me, who was very close to me at one point, told me, she said, you got to be mindful of your light you give. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you're a really good person. You have a good light to you, good energy. You give good, you don't seem like you want anything from nobody. I don't ask nothing from anybody.
Yeah.
But you always try to pour to people, and you have a good energy to you. And when you give it to different women who might be in certain spaces, especially since you say you talk to certain women who are in certain spaces, I said that. I tend to talk to people who are getting over something. Right. So if I'm talking to somebody who's getting over something and I'm giving them a hint of something great, or they can see what I got, maybe they know my personal life I'm put together and things I'm doing, or how I'm with my kids, and I'm very, very, they know my life. Yeah. They're like, she's like, be mindful of the energy you give to people or the light you share, because they, some women who are in certain spaces might need it, and you're right next to them. You're standing right there. And you're not being mean, and you're not being pushy, and you might hang out with me and lay in the bed or whatever case and not do nothing to me. Well, let's
talk about that.
That's probably bad. That's bad.
You done opened it. You done opened up.
That's bad.
A can of worms. Yeah, let's talk about it.
She went there.
No.
Maybe she was drunk and couldn't drive. And
you went there.
Past tense.
So since we there, let's stay here for a minute. You said something. Do you think it's okay for woman or man to have an emotional relationship with another person that your partner isn't aware of, do you consider that to be cheating?
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks. That's cheating. Okay, whether emotional, whether it's physical, if the intent is negative, well, I won't say negative. If the intent is for you to, potentially do something with them or to keep it a secret from your partner, it is cheating. Okay?
If it has to be a secret, it's cheating.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you came into this relationship with this friend, then it may be more, received from your partner.
Keyword may.
May. Yeah. It may be. Because, I mean, for me, if you came in, a perfect example, I was dating someone who had a friend that was a female. Mm-hmm. And I personally, I don't know, some women may agree with me. You don't need no other friend. My man don't need no other female friend but me. I'm your best friend. You don't need no other female friends. But if you came in with that female friend, it's okay. But I'm still gonna keep my eyes open because I don't know what the dynamic of your relationship is.
I don't say probably understand what the relationship was or how I got there.
There we go. And I'm still going to be, because like you said, we can't put nothing past someone, okay? You capable of doing anything. So if she is your friend and you came in, this relationship, I'm still going to be very, fully aware that she exists. And I will be respectful of y'all relationship because she was there before I was. However, I need her to respect our relationship. But if you got a friend that you talk to every now and then, and eventually and that your partner doesn't know anything, eventually it's going to turn into something more than what it is. And if you talking to her and your partner don't know, that's cheating. Most definitely.
I agree.
That is cheating. Cheating isn't just a physical thing. It could, whenever you feel like if you're deceiving your partner, it's cheating to me. And I think understanding whatever those boundaries are, whatever boundaries that you may have in your relationship or you want in your relationship, state that stuff up front, because what your partner may think is okay, you may feel like it's not. So some men may feel like, oh, you were smiling in that man's face. That's cheating. The next word would be like, oh, hey, I'm so-and-so, it's nice to meet you. I'm her girlfriend or her boyfriend, or, hey, but then the next person is like, nah, I don't like that. That off limits. And then you know how to act accordingly.
Right. Well, that's why communication is strong.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody, like I said, everybody is different. I can say from my standpoint, my temperament's a little different about things. Mm-hmm. Like I can be in the club or let's say my girl's in the club, or whatever, and she's like, oh, guy bought me a drink. I'm like, oh.
Some men will freak for that though.
I know. I know.
But there are some men that's like, oh, he bought you a drink? Go get us another one. Like, let me get one.
It don't bother me.
I'll drink this way. But there are some men who are like so confident, or I won't say confident. What's the word? I
think it's the ego, and it's that bravado.
Is it an ego? I mean, it could
be. What confident? They don't want somebody doing that to them, or
no? Like
girl,
you
okay with it?
You would be fine. You would be fine if well, not fine. You wouldn't be fine if that person was talking to your girl, to your wife. Some men will get in their feelings if another man approaches their woman, and then you have some men that are like, "Oh, you checking out my girl? I'm good. That's mine."
If you see me with my woman, and you doing that, like, what are you doing? Unless you,
now that's disrespectful.
In my mind, like, you must know who she is. And she's like, "Yeah, what's your name?" All right, we got a problem.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't know who the person is, and I'm not, if they can't tell what the situation is, and I see it, I'm gonna trust that my woman's gonna handle that. Yeah. Go ahead and sort it out. Go ahead and.
That's true.
I'm not saying just turn a man but don't talk. You're a human being. Don't act weird. Speak and say, hey, I got a man. Boom, boom. Now, the person continue going.
There we go. That's a problem. But just because he approached and said, hey, don't come knocking me upside my head because he said hi. you mad because he said hi?
No, I get it because you don't know nobody. Like you don't know the person. Why would you assume that? I might have walked up and talked to her too. And I got my man. Oh, my bad. I see guy, bad partner.
Right.
I go about my
there
business.
you go.
You know what I mean? I might even dap him up, my bad partner. Lucky man, and I'll keep it moving.
There you go. But some men don't take that very, lightly. Don't talk to her.
Yeah. And again,
don't you talk to him. Okay. I have seen it from both ends.
It's happened before. Whatever. I was like, I'm sorry. I apologize. And I tried that him up, and he wasn't willing.
Nah,
to.
he ain't with that.
Like,
yeah,
no problem. Like but I get it though. That's how you feel like you protect yours.
There you go.
I ain't gonna stomp on your yard. That's your yard. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like that's whatever you how you view it. I'm a little more free with my mind, so I feel like I know what's mine, what's not mine. And I don't see the point of going crazy. I understand it. If you don't know somebody, you walk up to somebody. That's normal. That's what happens in the bar or the club. I might have went to the bathroom and come back.
And somebody talking. Yeah.
Well, they get you a drink? I might walk up and say, what am I drinking? Which I've done before. Like,
right.
I get a drink too. He's like, what you? All right, what you want? And like, you know what I mean? I'm sitting there laughing. And I might even talk about shit. We crazy. Like, I don't know. I just don't see, I don't see the point of acting crazy unless you purposely disrespectful. There we go. Purposely disrespect me, cool. But the bravado of trying to be, relax. Like, you don't gotta do all that. If you need to overly do that to you, something's off. You don't feel comfortable with something. Mm-hmm. You don't feel comfortable with something with yourself or with her, I don't know. Right. But you need to work on that. But I don't know. Communication, again, knowing the person you're talking to. Sure. And what the limits are. And
since you said that, one of the things that I learned in my business is making sure that you clearly understand that person's definition of what single. Okay. What single it is, because you got people who consider single as you not being married. You're single. Oh, shit.
That's wild.
You're unmarried.
I believe it though.
You're single. But in actuality, that person got somebody at the house that you are full blown in a relationship with, but they single because they not married. And in some cultures and in some certain demographics, they believe that single means you're unmarried. Perfect example is you go to a wedding and they say all the single men, if you're not married, come out to the floor. You gonna come and catch this garter, right? Because you ain't married, and they consider you to be single. Now, if you are in a relationship with somebody, you ain't single. So I came up with the question of asking people, are you single? Like defining what single meant and then what single meant. And that's a real thing out here in these streets, okay? If you dating, make sure you ask them, are they single or are they single? Single mean you don't have nobody, no situationships, no relationship. Nobody think they in a relationship with you. You ain't talking to nobody. You are for real single and available to enter into a relationship. Single can mean a total different thing to another person.
Right.
And clarifying and understanding what that means to that person, do it up front, sis. I'm telling you from experience. Do it up front.
Ask the question with intention behind it. Because some people say they're single, not single. And I mean, dudes too, but I would say women too. Like, you date
men do it.
No.
Men
I'm telling you,
will do it.
I'm telling you, no ladies do it. Because I've seen too many times a girl like, I'm single. And all of a sudden, well, how'd you get pregnant? That was weird. You were all...
She can end up pregnant because she dating. And I mean, that night turned into...
Right, so you're not single.
Nah, that don't mean that you ain't single. That mean that you got caught up that night.
Man, listen, y'all have to...
That means you got caught up. Usually, it be us that be like, okay, we in a relationship.
I can see a mistake happening.
That's my old man.
A lot of girls have dudes in the background who's like, that's my guy. That's my call guy. That's my guy. When stuff going crazy, I give him a call. He sorts me out. Go about the business.
But she could still be single.
No. Oh, yeah. She's single. Just single. Not single.
There we go.
So I was just saying, being clarified, that's why I don't believe it. When somebody tell me they're single, I'm like, they got something. I mean, they
got something going on.
But I operate with that idea. Mm-hmm. If I meet somebody and they say they're single, I'm like, oh, there's somebody. Okay. There's somebody who's not around.
There ain't no way that you single.
I don't believe it.
Why would you be single?
You got somebody.
There ain't nobody.
You got somebody who just pulls up and gets out the way. I don't care what you tell me. Mm-hmm. But I'm fine with it though. I'm fine with that idea because I'm like, I don't know you. I'm not emotionally connected to you yet, so I'm not gonna feel some type of way about it. That makes perfect sense to me
at the beginning. If you are dating that person, you need to be aware if there is somebody else. especially if they're in a relationship. If you're in a relationship with somebody, just say it. There ain't no such thing as, oh, we are going through a divorce. You're still married. You're married.
It's happened to me. I can tell you.
Oh, we're separated
more than 5 times.
You're still married. Would you do it?
What?
Would you date a person who says that they're separated from their husband? They're going through a divorce. Would you do it?
I would date them.
You would?
Let me tell you how. Past tense. I would date them in the capacity of I'm only one thing. Excuse me. Remember,
you married.
You remember, you're dating for intention.
But you married. You can't date somebody that's married.
Well, legally, you probably can't.
No.
He can use it against you.
Ethically, you shouldn't be dating somebody that's married. They're married.
You're going separation.
When I see the papers, you separated.
But again, I don't care about the papers because I'm not trying to be with you.
Nah.
No. If I'm not trying to be with you, I don't care. Now, if I'm interested in being with you, I won't even have a conversation with you after you say that to me. If you're going through that, and you're everything's over and ending. For me, if my intentions are one thing,
then
I look at you like you're the person ending a relationship. It's over. Now,
but what could that person offer you? They couldn't offer you nothing.
Yeah, it's one thing.
Just one thing. That's it.
I mean, there'll be other people, but just one thing.
Yeah, nah. I wouldn't even entertain it. I couldn't. Now, for some
time though, I'll put time. I'll add time to that though. Time. I've seen some people been separated. It'd be like years.
But I was gonna say, listen, you got some, especially back in the old days, man. They got their own house, okay? But yet they come to her house to eat dinner because she cooked tonight, okay?
Right. Well, I'm not on that. But again, that's all past tense. The younger version of me probably wouldn't care about that too much because what my intentions are. If my intentions are I actually care,
I respect that.
I wouldn't want to do it. The younger version of me, how I used to think, it was like, well, this is perfect. You definitely can't be a relationship with me. Mm-hmm. I don't want one at all. You can't even try it with me. That's the perfect situation for a guy who don't want nothing.
True.
Now, if I'm looking for something, I absolutely wouldn't. Especially the same way I wouldn't talk to a girl who's a guy. Like I don't rock with that. If you got a dude, I don't care if you're married, relationship, or a situationship. If you got any of those things shaking at the moment with me, I can't rock.
We good. Mm-hmm.
Do it.
And they ain't safe. I'm about to say, ain't safe out in these streets. Okay.
You with that. I like dealing with that. No.
Yeah. It ain't safe.
I tell you dudes call my phone.
So be upfront. Be truthful.
People lie, man. That's not a gender-based thing. People lie.
Everybody.
And I used to think that, but it also...
And women are better. This one thing that we can have that gender war against, okay? Women are better.
I agree. But you know what? But real with you, when a woman hurts a dude, I feel like it's a... Okay. It's somewhat a good thing if a guy is transitioning to a certain space. If you're a guy who used to play around with girls' feelings, I'll say this.
You don't feel good when the rabbit got the gun.
Heck no. I remember one time I was like, I feel so used.
Ego.
But when I felt low. When I realized I was being used, I was like, this is how it feels. I gotta make.
And you done did it like 16 million trillion times.
After that, I changed.
Oh,
because
it don't feel good,
I was
brother.
Like, that shit got suck. I was like, this.
It don't feel good, and it make you feel like maybe I shouldn't have done. Like I want to call them back and be like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, dog."
Nah, I was weird like that.
My bad.
I did that. I was weird like that. I would like, hey, you know.
I never meant to do that. I shouldn't have done that. It don't feel good.
I've accepted I've apologized to people who I was like, I probably didn't need to. They're like, why are you calling me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Oh yeah. I've been one of them people who was on the receiving end. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I shouldn't have done that. I apologize. Keep that guy doggone sorry.
Yeah. Well,
good.
That was for us. but maybe you might have needed to hear it. Nah. Like, hey, you did nothing wrong. I was a bad dude. Hopefully I didn't affect your choices after this shit.
Yeah.
Hopefully I didn't make you become like...
And on the other end, we like, good for you.
I mean, I accept it, you know what I mean? But at that point, we accept it. We like, no, I really...
Oh, we already know. We already know why you calling, or why you sending that DM, or why you sending the text message. Talk about you sorry. 10 years later, you sorry?
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Good for you.
But I'm lucky that the go through that one was a lot younger. It changed my perspective and make me
you live and you learn. Like, I mean, it makes you wiser. The life experiences that you have, it should make you wiser. You should make better choices. There should be no doggone reason why you making the same dang on mistake.
And that's why people need to, when situations end or occur, really think about it. Like don't. Like I know people who
reevaluate,
who love bomb or who jump into new stuff back to back.
Oh baby, I never knew nothing about no love bomb. Okay, remember now, I was in marriage for a very long time. All these little new terminologies and stuff, I never knew nothing about that love bomb. And I was like, what's a love bomb? Until what you trying to do? Or the gaslighting? Or he gaslighting you? I'm like, what the heck is that, honey? He lying. Okay, just call it what it is. It's a lie. He lying to you. He trying to play you. That's the old time. He playing you. Type thing. Yeah. Don't give me all this foolishness about you gaslighting and love bombing. He playing you. Okay.
Gaslighting, love bombing, moving goalposts. I'm the worst person to do it. Don't do it to me. I know everything. I'm like, hey, what you doing right now is like, I ain't with it. But like, I do think all that plays a part as far as like how you handle relationships or what you've seen or your relationship with relationships. Right. Or some people I think are in love with the idea of love, so the relationship is kind of skewed. So they make crazy choices. I got a homeboy who I lie to you not. He's proposed like 4 times. It gets ringing every time. I'm like, you sure, bro? He's like, yeah, she's the one. I'm like, yeah, but
that's kind of
the last.
I don't think I would even say yeah.
I don't know if they knew, but I really wouldn't say, hey, like this is like the first one.
That's just like a guy who has been engaged to a woman and been engaged to another woman. Or if you can't you didn't commit to either one of them women, especially if they leave you and get married to somebody else, something that should tell you something about that person. It's not making you look at them like, is it you or was it them? Especially if you the common denominator, like, right. Yeah, so, I wouldn't accept that proposal.
So there's a lot of that out there. I would say for God. I mean, like I said, he was probably the first guy I recognized who was like, "Are you like what's up? Are you love everybody?" Like, yeah. I had 2-3 homeboys. I was like, "Bro, like he's like she's the one." I'm like, "How? What do you mean?" We just had a conversation about this last person, and we had a real deep talk about this. And now you tell me this person is. I know, but this time,
she the one. Like time? For real.
So dudes do that same weird stuff in crazy ways, whether you're doing
you hear more about women though.
Stuff. I know, but I'm just saying there's guys who really like you like, I don't get it. He seemed like he loved me. He was very nice. This, that, and third. Some dudes really be in love with love. Like I've seen it. And the crazy thing is they're usually pretty good guys. Like my partner, he's a good dude. Good guy. Like he will not cheat on you. I promise you he won't. I just don't think he really understands what love is. Yes. And he tries to do it and the girls.
That's why we have therapists.
They walk off. They leave him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, or like, they'll call me like, can you please tell him stop calling me? And I'm like, bro, can you just hey,
that's kind of toxic.
Stop, like leave her alone. She's telling you, but I feel like you can't feel like anything the other one she said just now. Like she's telling you, she's calling me to tell you to stop. And he's just like, all right, cool, I'll leave it alone. And all of a sudden, I get messages like, I have 30 messages from him saying, give me a chance. I'm like, bro, what is the problem?
Kind of creepy.
It is, but that's what I'm saying. That's my first time noticing with a guy, but I'm just saying I don't think it's
men typically. It's usually the women. Like we can't get over it. You like he gonna answer this phone. I'm about to call him again. I'm gonna call his mama and ask his mama, have you talked to Jerome? Like tell Jerome to call me. Yeah, that men don't.
That's what when I hear certain things. I mean, I do think there's certain things that are stereotypes that are specific to certain genders. But a lot of human emotions are human emotions. That's why I say I don't put nothing past nobody. I think anybody can be anything, and I take people for what they show me. I take it. I believe it. I don't try to like. Well, maybe no. I believe it.
No, I changed my mind. Now that you said that, I don't think I agree with you on that one because you can have. What's your horoscope? You believe in horoscopes?
Yep, I'm a Libra.
You're a Libra. I don't know much about Libras.
Bounce.
But a Gemini, crazy. It's a reason why.
Is it 50 Cent? 50 a Gemini?
Is he?
If he is, then I understand it.
No. Wait a minute. I think 50 Cent is Cancer.
I don't know.
He look it up. He wanted me. We sign twins. I believe.
Yeah, sure.
I think 50 Cent is a Cancer.
I do believe it, but
his mindset I resonate with.
Let's see, astrological.
I think he a Cancer. I think his birthday's in July.
I know he's something that he's the people like. Oh, that's sure. He might.
But he definitely no Gemini. Gemini's a different.
Oh, he's a Gemini.
Is he? Oh my God. Okay, I'm wrong. Sorry, 50. I thought maybe.
Oh wait. What's going on? 50 Cent was born. Blah blah. This makes him. He's a Cancer.
You're wrong. Yeah. See.
He's a Cancer. He's Gemini. I don't know why it showed Gemini. It showed moon sign Gemini.
Because they listen. Them phones be listening to us. You know that, right? And expect you got an iPhone. Tell me you got an iPhone.
Oh wait. His sun sign's Cancer. His moon sign's Gemini.
What the heck is a sun sign?
I have no idea. But
what is his sign?
I am working on a conversation with a girl who does like tarot cards and stuff. And she really bases her life off of
tarot
relationships and stuff like that, whatever. So I was like, really? She's like, she bases it off of that stuff and how she deals with people, how she feels about them. And I was like, that'd be a good conversation. But yeah,
to each his own. For me, I don't know. I mean,
I
truly believe. I think that. Especially when it comes down to a man who does not believe in something or answer to something bigger than himself is a danger to himself in this world. And that could be not just saying a man, but a woman or a man. You have to answer. But for a man, if you feel like you too big to answer to somebody that's bigger than you, like that's a problem. However, I don't think that, I don't know, for me, I'm not going to say that signs, our signs don't have anything to do with us or our personalities. And I'm not one to say that, oh, I can't talk to you because, you are Libra or Gemini. However, I do feel like, our signs do have some sort, like we have some sort of characteristics that they describe us as. Like, I'm a Cancer. We are crabby people. We are nurturing people. We are loving people. I am a nurturer. I am a lover. I'm going to do my best to make sure that I'm my best for you and for myself. However, you cross us, you're done.
He's still trying to get money from Tia Marie.
You're done.
I do that.
I'm like, nah. And for teach his own. I'm not gonna say that I don't believe in what the tarot cards would say. I don't know that I would live my life based off of it. I'm not going to make decisions based off of it. However, I do believe that we do have characteristics of our signs.
I absolutely believe it. Mm-hmm. For the most part. But I made a post today about that. Matter of fact, I said I feel like when it comes to signs, if you're the most balanced version of what that sign is, then you're not. Well, I'm sorry. If you're unbalanced, you're the worst part of that sign. That's how I look at it. If you're the worst part of it, like friend, Libra. Like anybody who I've met who's been Libra, whether it's men or women, I saw the perfect similarities, and I didn't even know it. I was like,
see, that's like I just told you about 50 Cent. The stuff that he just did. Yeah. That's some Cancer stuff.
I mean, so but we pick mine to our signs, right?
That's some Cancer stuff,
right? Okay. So I saw my sign, and it doesn't really work very well. Like me, and
have you ever dated? Oh, you haven't.
Female Libras do not work.
You don't. Listen. And we get yourself a Cancer.
Okay? we don't work at all. It just doesn't go good. It's either one way or that way, but it never
works.
Never does. It's
what, like, have you ever actually looked up to see what I don't know what my compatible sign would be. I don't know I
don't remember it, but I also do seem like I always get pulled
to Pisces. Pisces?
I keep getting pulled to Pisces.
I am always pulled to Leos. Like, well, Leos are attracted to me.
It's good for a guy.
Let's say that. Leos are attracted to me. But what's crazy is Leo women and men are attracted to me. That's the scary part. I for some odd reason attract them. Now I go after what's the Taurus? Like I'm drawn to a Taurus. I don't know what it is about it, but I would be more drawn to a Taurus. However, when I look back at, somebody I've dated or somebody, my ex, Leo, there's a common sign. It's a Leo.
Leo's strong. My mom's a Leo, so Leo line.
I have several Leos in my family.
So you get it then.
Oh, I understand.
Full up to me. Just bull rushing, full up. Just
crazy.
I can't.
The excitement.
And I've noticed the same thing.
The excitement.
But I think we got to that because you said about the idea. I said I believe it. Now, when you're young, I feel like you can't say you believe something because you don't have experience yet. Because you first saw it. For me, now granted, I do understand people can be different, but I don't have the time to focus on it. Now, if you're supposed to be in my pathway, I feel like, because again, I'm not mean. I would tell a person I'm clear with how I say things. I try to make it clear and not rough, not mean, the best I can. I could come off weird because I'm not very overly emotional when I talk, but I try my best to let the person know, if you show me something,
you too laid back for me. You got to show some kind of emotions. I need to know that you're feeling it.
Well, if I'm leaving somebody alone, I ain't gonna
you
say,
understand.
I'm really hurt right now, but I gotta leave you alone. No, I'm gonna say, hey, I don't feel like, I'm just gonna give it the way it is.
The laid backness, because I'm so high sprung, I need a laid back person. However, I like a man. You got to show me some emotions. Like I like excitement. Okay, I wanted a little bit of excitement. The whole laid back thing for some people, it might be the okay, but at some point you're gonna have to.
But it comes in the right times. I feel like.
Show me some excitement when you're drinking.
No, well, definitely then. But no, I mean, if the time comes or the occasion requires that type of energy, I have a problem.
You're able to give it.
But I feel like when it comes down to like really important conversations or things I need to express. I don't want you to assume nothing or think nothing. Like also, I'm a guy talking to a woman. I might say again. I feel like a lot of women are not comfortable with rejection because don't
try to turn that on a woman now.
No,
men ain't either.
No. I'm telling you this. I will say though, I don't think women can handle rejection the way we do it. Think about it. Think about this now. Now think about it for a second. Traditionally, when you're young to now, you get approached by guys more than you approach men. Correct?
True. I'm not going to approach a man.
Correct. Most women don't.
Yeah.
So that means you have to make the choice of rejection or not. We can't force you to say, no, can't reject me. You have to say yes or no to us. Since we have to do the approaching, we have a higher ratio, a higher number of being rejected. So since that happens, we have more practice at it.
You're right.
The guys who can't handle it, just leave. How I look at it, like,
you're right.
Pick your nuts up, bro. Like, it's just... But there's always a nuance to it. You're always gonna find someone who can't do it. Same way I'll find some women who approach me, and I'm that's
a bold woman.
Different. That's different. Yeah. Sometimes it works. Sometimes like that was too much.
More power to you, sis. Yeah. Go after what you want.
Yeah, I always thought that was. I mean, I never had a problem
let me manifest it. Let me put it. I don't know. Like my energy, how I carry myself, how I present myself should be enough to draw you to me. It shouldn't take me coming, and I'm also traditional. Like, I'm not in that aspect. Some aspects I'm not so traditional, but in that aspect, I'm not coming to you to talk. You looking at me? You interested in me? You better come on, brother.
Right. I don't think nothing's wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm not approaching it, but to the woman who does it, more power to you, sis.
They have practice, and when they do it, like I said, it is kind of like. Interesting. Mm-hmm. It dozes us off a little bit. And sometimes it's like, you did a good job. And sometimes it's like, that was too much. Like, what you got going on? You do everybody like that? Like, you know what I mean? Because it's not natural. I don't know. Yeah. I've seen every aspect of it. But I guess what I'm saying is like, let's say, even running back when I believe something, I do know, I feel like if something's supposed to be, it's going to be. So I might have been rejected by a woman before, whatever. I'm like, maybe my approach is wrong. I might, if I really want it enough, I might ask, like, is it something I said to you wrong? She might say, oh, you the player type. I'm like, why you feel that way? And I would try to have the conversation, let them know. Like,
you bold, eh? You gonna ask me why? You ready to know why?
Yeah.
You sure you ready?
Well, most people not. I'm willing to. Well, again, that goes back to value.
No, but if she said something, nah, don't give me that value stuff.
No. Nah. As a man, no.
Don't give me that value stuff.
Let me tell you why I say that. And I think that has to be a real statement. Because I think a lot of women, they walk on this earth with value in themselves as far as
for the most part.
How they see them. Think about it. Again, it goes back to the same conversation about being approached. Think about it. If most of your life, if you're used to being approached by men all the time, whether you like it or not, it strokes your ego a little bit. It makes you feel like I'm the prize. I'm an option. I'm a thing.
Well, wait a minute. Sir, we are the prize.
Absolutely. Well, yes, I agree. But think about it. But
now I'm gonna treat you like a prize.
Exactly.
When I get you. But
but
we
initially, but okay, right. So it's a transactional thing that goes this way back, right?
True.
But still, regardless of it, it still strokes your ego. Regardless of it.
Nah, I ain't stroking my ego.
I'm telling you why.
It's a standard. And
No. I mean, just this simple, before you know what your standard is, before you know what your value is. All right, you're younger. You're high school. Boom, boom, boom. You don't know what your standard is.
For some of us, we do.
All right. Okay. Let's say
I met my ex when I was in high school, and I knew what it was that I wanted in my. I told you I was in elementary school.
Okay.
Writing my letter. So I give manifesting lists. My husband.
I give lists, but still, regardless of it. All right. Play this. Perfect example. There's a guy at school. He's a super attractive guy. Mm-hmm. He gets a lot of girls coming to him all the time. How does he seem when you see? Not all of them now, but how does he seem when you see him? He's like,
if he boasting,
he already knows he's a shit.
He's unattractive to me.
I get it.
There's no way that I don't know. So you can be the finest thing. But
separate that. Just look from the perspective of you've seen those guys who are overly like, oh, you're a little too like they know they're the shit.
Yeah.
Right? You know why? It's because they get approached a lot. It's not just because I'm the guy. It's they know how they look. They know how people think about them. They know how they feel about it. And it gives them a certain energy so they act a certain way.
I can respect that.
So I met those guys. I'm like,
and and now that you say that, I've met a couple of them.
Right.
And it, regardless of, even if you show me that you're interested in me, I could never really take you seriously and be interested in you, because if you boasting, if you feel like you the shit, it makes me really put you in the category of not being the shit.
Especially for the wrong reasons, right? Yeah. So it builds a little thing, a thing in you. So what I'm saying, I met certain women, again, not all of them, but like I said, regardless of how you look at it, you're primarily approached by men, which puts you in a space where you feel like, I
agree with you on that.
So yeah, so personally, you know what your value is. Yeah. On top of that, you like, these niggas know my values as well. It's a double, it's a double entendre essentially. So you're right. I feel like, when we get to a certain point, we're used to being rejected very often. If I talk to 100 girls, I might get rejected 70 times. That's still more practice than you. Secondly, I don't get approached that often. So, the way I feel about things is a little different, unless it's just the personal aspect of it. For me, like, if I know what my actual value is, and you're not willing to even look at it, because I have to make you look at my value. I can't present my value to you right away unless it's attractive as far as my physical looks, and maybe you saw my car possibly. I don't know. You might get an idea about me or my jewelry or something like that, whatever, but you might not know enough about me, whereas like my first impression is my first impression. So I might ask the question like, why do you decline me? Now, if you just say like, you're not tall enough, like, okay, I'm going to go and walk off.
Yeah.
Or you might say, but if you tell me like something like along the lines of, you seem like you're a womanizer. You
would still go after them.
I'm like, well, why do you feel that way?
You would entertain them even after she said she wasn't interested. You would entertain them.
If I'm very interested, I would at least try to find out why. Yeah,
but if she says
it's also about the way you do it. It's also about the way you do it. If you just like dismiss me like I'm trash, like, oh God, no, I'm not asking no questions. If the person like, hey, no, I'm sorry, I'm like, what's going on? Like, I'll ask the question. They might say, I got a boyfriend or somebody talk to her. All right, cool, no problem. I apologize.
But if she says, you look like the player type, are you going to be like, I'm not the player type and still entertain them? Like, try to show them your value?
I wouldn't have to show them. I don't consider it showing my value. I consider it a conversation where I can actually maybe shift your thought process. Because you would still entertain that person, even though she said, nah. You look like you're the player. If your reasoning is because you think I'm a player, no, I would still try. Because if I'm not a player, and I'm like, well, so that's the only reason why you prevent me?
Yeah.
I think I'm not though. At that point, I would position my next questions a certain way to take that offer. And then I might even try exchange information, but back away. Just to give a little, like, I don't want you to feel that way about me. You know what I mean? Or I won't be overzealous on you, whatever. I'll give you the option to make a choice, but let you know, I'm in no way that type of guy. I know what I'm looking for. I know what I want. And I don't play any games. So if you feel that way about me before you actually got to know me, that's a choice you made, but I want you to know that, that's not what it is, and you could have possibly made like I'll say, you probably made a mistake. And, and I'll leave it at that. Like, would you like a drink? And I'll get a drink and I'll walk off, and I won't bother the person. But I'll give them, at least let you know what it is. And just, again, maybe I'm doing something that makes other women think the same thing about me.
Yeah.
So that you just gave me insight.
Yeah.
So what am I doing? Maybe you're just too friendly. All right. In my mind, like, all right, maybe that's why I'm having problems. Let me be a little less friendly. Like I'll take it as a learning lesson in how I'm out there in the world.
Not us. I ain't about to ask. No, I mean, I'm not about to ask a man. However, it does make me think, like we were talking about it earlier, about if a guy says that, okay, if we're dating and we both are dating, we went into this dating situationship with the same purpose. We're dating for marriage.
Right.
If he, says to me, oh, I don't think this will work. I don't know that I would ask him why and still try to show him. Now, if I'm just approaching him, which I'm not going to approach him.
Right.
Yeah.
Just approaching, I can
respect what you're doing as far as asking them why, because it gives you time to self-evaluate, and understand what it is that she perceived and why, But in the aspect of us dating, if I would, try to show them that I'm not that person, or I'm not what you think I am, or I can be.
You mean already dating or after?
Right.
Dating? Oh yeah, after dating, I'm not doing all that.
Yeah.
If you couldn't give me a conversation to say, hey, this is how I'm feeling before you made that choice.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't talking about like you already made a choice. I think we be. Mm-hmm. If you already made a choice, say, hey,
there ain't nothing. Yeah. There ain't nothing else I need to say to you. We done. Nah, okay.
You made the decision already. Oh, you already. You done dotted your eyes across. I hope you did. I hope you did.
We done, because if you didn't, we done.
See me out the bar again, I'm like, what you doing? Hey, I think what?
Nah.
I've had somebody stop talking to me wherever because they said I was talking to other people. Or like somebody brought my name up, whatever. Funny thing about it is I found out who the person was. I was like, oh yeah, I saw you when you came to the club, boom, boom. And I was talking, I said, oh, that's Don Terry, whatever. Mm-hmm. And the girl was like, oh, you know how you know him? And like, oh yeah, we was talking, boom, boom, back in the day. And I didn't even see the girl who said that. I didn't pay no attention to her at all. I had no idea. But somehow we bumped into each other, whatever. And she was like, yeah, I saw you at boom, boom the other night, whatever. I told somebody at the table, whatever, boom, boom. And she looked all type of weird. I'm like, I got a text message from somebody saying they can't talk to me. I'm like, this chick, stop talking to me because somebody said somebody knew me. And I didn't even know I didn't even know what was going on. But
I probably wouldn't entertain them. After that, nah. Because she easily influenced by the thoughts of other people.
I didn't, but that's what bothered me the most. And I was trying. Yeah. And later on, like in life, like we talked and I was trying to explain it to her or whatever, and she was like, we should probably, I'm like, I said, honestly, no, like, we cool, we're good, but like I feel like you allowed something to sway you. And I kept asking you, what's wrong? Mm-hmm. What's the problem? Why do you all of a sudden say this? But you made a decision before having a conversation with me. So that means we can't even have a healthy conversation. Yeah. For me, conversation is a very important part of a relationship with me. If I can't have healthy conversation with you, healthy, reflective, where this is not a bad space. If you're the type of person who says, oh, you gotta talk, I was trying to have a good day. You got some issues going on from your past you thinking about, or I'm not that guy. If a conversation or resolving something should not be we were having a good day. Now we gotta talk.
Now you got
like what? Like you know what I mean? I remember that.
But that also could come from trauma. Like we talked about this past trauma. Like you know what the people had to deal with, and I mean, are they worth you trying to work past it?
Absolutely.
And you know what I'm saying? Like
absolutely. In the beginning, absolutely. I can't.
How long? You say in the beginning, right? But how long is
first occurrence
enough?
So I'll say I won't give a time limit on it. I give when it occurs, because once you peel onions back, you don't know what's there until it gets removed. It gets revealed. Like that, all of a sudden, you cut some onions, and sometimes it don't burn your eyes, and sometimes you cut them like, I was killing me right now. So you don't know when it gets to that point. So I feel like I can't sit there and say like I'm gonna give you a time limit because I don't know what unresolved issues you might have. I'll try to resolve the most I can in the beginning.
I try.
You try, but you can't.
I will try, but then I feel like once you get in the habit of saying, okay, this person has unresolved issues and I'm gonna try to help them through it.
Not help.
Like, work. You are essentially you are like if you're saying that you're willing to work with them through that issue, like some of us ain't capable.
Well, okay, let me clarify. I'm not gonna help you work through your issue because your issue is your issue. I'm not gonna help you. There we go. I mean more so once it shows up, I'm going to acknowledge it. Mm-hmm. And I need you to acknowledge it. Mm-hmm. It needs to be addressed.
Right.
You can't keep on doing it with me, especially if something's like this is like a end all for me. Mm-hmm. I love you. We done been through enough. Maybe let's say a year into it, we finally live in certain situations we never would have had in the beginning. We have now because of we done put certain things in our lives together. Now I'm seeing it, or maybe something in your life happens and and this is how you react with your issues. You get quiet, you don't talk, you get, I don't know how you get there until you get there. So once we get there, and hey, look, this doesn't work for me. Like, I feel like this might be something going on.
Right.
You don't talk to me. We got to work on this. Needs to be worked on. But I'm not going to. No. Like, this is how it makes me feel.
Right.
Let's work. Yes, it's still a let's work on this as far as, hey, what you present to me. But this is your job. It's not my job. I'm not going to sit there and like fix it for
Some
you.
of us take on that issue though of trying to help them. It's easy, especially for women. Like, if you're a nurturer, it's easy. And I'm speaking from experience at this point. It's easy for us to feel like we take on the responsibility of trying to help them past it. When essentially, like we talked about earlier, it's not really, is it your job to support them, to work through it? Yes. But it's not our job to fix it, help them fix it. Like, that is not healthy for you, and it's not healthy for that person. Like, encourage them to get the help, support them in their journey of getting the help, but taking on, it's so easy for, some of us to take on that responsibility of helping our partner through those things, unless you caused it.
Absolutely.
You caused that issue, you caused that trauma. That's your job.
Now, if I ain't causing drama, listen, if this drama's from your ex, don't talk to him now. You better talk to a psychiatrist or something like that, figure it out. But, I do like it, but, you get in situations where people feel as if, well, I feel this way, you should help me. Or get mad when you're not willing to. Or like, well, I already told you about this. One, you didn't tell me about it. Secondly, I uncovered it when it occurred. Right. So let's not do that. But now that it's clear now, don't you think that I'm supposed to accept it? Like, I already told you. No, okay. Like, no.
Oh, that accept that you done said something. You done struck a nerve when you said that. Oh, you know how that's how she is. That's the favorite saying. Nope. That's just how she is. Nah, that's not how we.
I've been told so many times, you're mean. I'm not mean. I'm not dealing with certain stuff. Yeah. You're not gonna make your problem my problem. Yes. That's just, but we're together. No, we're together for sure. Mm-hmm. And as you said, I support you. Yeah. But you're not gonna disrespect me because you have problems. No, right. No. Mm-hmm. Because once I start accepting disrespect and it leaves openings for others, I'm not accepting it. Yeah. You won't accept it from me.
Agreed.
So we're not doing that. Like, we're not going to do this whole idea. Like, well, this how I am. Like, I'm addressing
using the excuse of that's how I am.
You gonna catch hell every time. Yes. I love you. You gonna catch hell every time. Every time you do it, I'm gonna address it. I'm gonna address it to the point you realize we ain't letting this go. Nope. Won't let it go. And when it gets to the point where I can't do it no more,
done. Bye.
You know what I mean? And that's
see ya.
And that's just what it is. Like, you know what I mean? But I feel like we should, like I said, and again, I say that from a standpoint, from what I said in the beginning, as far as I feel like when you really, really value yourself, you view things a certain way.
Do it right.
And, I'll tell guys, like, men who I know, like, how, like, again, not if you did something bad and she can't get over it and you're like, she gotta get over it. Like, no, I'm not with that, broski. But there's certain things, if you say, I ask you a question, and very well, the person could be lying, but I've been speaking from what they say to me. Right. If they say, if you ain't cheat, you ain't did that, you're handling all your business, you didn't create these issues.
Oh, y'all ain't never did nothing. Huh? Y'all don't never do nothing. Oh, I ain't did nothing.
Oh, no.
She tripping.
I believe people do stuff, but I also think people are responsible for their actions, regardless. Yeah. So even if I hurt you, it doesn't give you the right to strike in my face. No. Or do certain things.
Now, I ain't about to strike you. Now, my thing is words now.
Well, words too. You're not gonna talk to me crazy. Like,
break it down.
So all right. So you might say she talked to me crazy. I said, you called a B word, anything wild like that? Like, no, I don't say none of that type of stuff. That's just kind of how she moves. I'm like, listen, but she has a bunch of brothers, so she's used to. No. Yeah. We ain't doing all that. Like, if you don't like how she's talking to you, she needs to respect it. Oh yeah. It's just that simple. It's not no ifs, ands, or buts. Or maybe
it is we talked about this earlier. It's very easy to tear them down with the words and. To be disrespectful, to lose respect for a man. At that point, I think I'm telling you, it's over.
Hey, listen. A girl will destroy. It's over. A girl will destroy you. Listen.
You're done.
Don't stick around, my boy. But I just feel like when we fully. Now, granted, I will admit, when you fall in love with somebody, you become stupid.
Some of us are blinded.
Yeah, so that's
and we remain blinded. And we kind of let certain things that we traditionally would not, or, before in the past would not have let happen. Yeah.
That's, I don't have
but
that
respect should never be One of them.
That's never.
If you let it slide one time, you're done.
Exactly. And if you're with somebody who, when you try to establish respect with them and they can't respect it, or they make it seem like it's your fault, leave them.
You're done.
Let it go. Like, let it go. Even how much, like I said, the guy, I can't speak from women's perspective because I'm not a woman. I can speak from guys because I also was the type of guy. I was also a guy who would like. I was very visual. But I also needed a good conversation. But regardless of it, I held on for the wrong reasons.
How long did it take you to come out of that point of being a visual, like just being initially being interested in the person for what they look like? Not losing, a breakup, and then certain people around me, like my grandmother, my mom, reminded me of who I was. Yeah. I was just really confused. And like it took somebody saying like you're a catch, right? Like it took my grandmother telling me you're a catch. Like and I lost myself at some point. And when she told me that, and she was like remember who you are, and I was just like, shit, you're right. Like I was just like I forgot reality check.
Like I got uncool. Like it was so weird how I became something different than I was used to, or I didn't view myself the way I used to view myself. And the sad part about it, sometimes when you lose how you view yourself, it actually takes away from your partner because your partner can't see that version of yourself anymore. But I became that but I also became that because of certain words that was said to me in my ideas that were confused based off of what I didn't see. I told you I didn't have a representation of an actual. Right. So I saw things like I saw. No, get me wrong. I saw a good woman. I saw a good man. I just never saw a companionship. Right. So in my mind, I'm not going to let something end. Yeah. I don't care what it is. I'm not going to let no child feel the end. Yeah. I won't let it happen. And I didn't know certain steps I needed to have. Because I was more so raised by my mother and my grandmother. So as a man, I didn't really know certain things I needed. Or like certain levels of respect. But don't
let it be the excuse, the reason why you aren't that. Doesn't mean that you can't learn it.
I did. That's what I'm saying. But I think I did learn it, but it took me not liking how I felt and started figuring myself. Because I started learning from a guy. I just started realizing, what am I doing? Like, and as I started putting things together and started realizing certain things,
so you telling me a woman didn't help you get there?
I would say as far as
a woman didn't help you get there.
No
woman help you. Not even your mama, not your grandma, not your ex.
My grandma told me to remember who you are because you have everything you have. But how to be a man? No.
Nah.
I did. I'm telling you,
we had to teach y'all.
No. Like, but how? I don't think. All right. Here's the thing.
Experience that you've had with a woman didn't teach you. You're telling me it didn't have any.
No. What my actual woman at that time when I was trying to figure things out.
No, any woman.
Did it teach me what?
How to be that man, the man that you are today.
In a way.
We have some sort of.
But here's the thing. I agree.
We teach y'all.
It has to be from a woman I respect. Because it has to be from a woman that I respect as far as like, and also based off of what feels right to me. So I'm not going to sit there and say, because you tell me a man's do this, I means I'm supposed to do that. No. Right. It has to align with who I am. But I also, let's say
that goes back to me when I said earlier that I'm not saying that, I think I'm the shit, so you got to do this, If you don't initially open the door for me, I'm going to stand there until you open the door. Right. And then eventually it's going to become a habit for you. So when I say that, like, I do not believe that, a woman can teach a man how to be a man. She's going to teach you. Can a woman do it? She can. And some of the actions she can show you, but she cannot. I really feel like that's the job of a man. But some men have to learn. And sometimes some of those lessons are taught by another woman. Like it's taught by a woman.
I think y'all are capable, but creating a whole man.
No, you can't. No. I totally agree.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah,
I agree.
Did I pick up certain things as far as like what I need to learn?
Yeah.
My grandmother said. My grandmother, she showed me a lot of things about etiquette. About
you need a man myself. To be there to teach a man. Right.
So to be a man. So the things I was lacking that was like I didn't learn from my grandma. Like the small nuances I didn't learn. Granted, I'm not saying my dad wasn't there. He was military. He was around when he could, so I picked up certain things from him. Right. Like there's certain things I did get from my dad as far as like how I hold myself, how I walk, how I move. Levels of respect or dominance, or how you walk into a room, how you represent yourself. There's certain things I did definitely get from him, absolutely, but he wasn't there on a consistent basis. So there's just the small nuances of if you see a little boy sit next to her dad, you might just see him just watching him, just looking. Mm-hmm. He's scanning.
You're learning.
He's picking things up. He's watching how he gets up and hugs his mom. I didn't really see it like that. So, or also how a woman speaks to a man. There were certain things I didn't catch on to, and I was used to being in a woman dominant household. So I accepted. I was used to seeing certain things that I was like, that's acceptable that direction, but it didn't make me feel good when I became a man. I was like, you know what I mean? It made me angry, and I didn't know why I was angry until I started reevaluating myself. And as I started doing that, and I started realizing, no, like this is my. And I started researching, or I started like, connecting more with in church and other men. You know what I mean? I started picking up things from when I saw people who I respected as men. Right. I saw how they were with their wives.
That's why I told you earlier, it's important for us women to ask these men, who are those influential men, in your life? Because that is a reflection of that person.
Absolutely.
Same thing on your end. You want to see who are the women, that's in your life. Like, that is a reflection of that person. That old saying, birds of a feather flock together, is true. Something out of them is in each one of them people that they hanging with.
And if you're lucky to have like the perfect house, I'm not saying perfect house, but a household of like you see love and boom, 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 then you can apply it to your relationship, and you might find with that person, it might not work for them because it's not their idea of it. But, again, let's say that their mom and dad raised that little, that girl that becomes your girlfriend, whatever, and they didn't have the best situation. Mm-hmm. So that little girl's might have expectations from you based off of that guy. That's not the right expectations.
There you go.
And then, but that's also it revolves back to what I said as far as us valuing ourselves too. Mm-hmm. I think the same way y'all supposed to value yourself, we gotta value ourselves. The same way how y'all may hold back from being sexual, certain things like you respect your bodies. We gotta do the same thing. We can't just throw it around everywhere like it's all willy nilly.
But that's learned. That's a learned behavior. And believe it or not, that's the start this high. Okay? That's how it starts. It starts at home. You don't teach them to value themselves. And even sometimes if you teach it, because you can teach your kids, you could be the perfect parent.
And they wild out.
And have that, that gentle parenting skills. And they turn out to be a whole monster out in these streets. Okay? Right here slinging pee-pee freely. Okay? Not respecting themselves. Not respecting women. Not respecting anything. And you have done your very best. But I still feel like some of that stuff, it starts at home. Now, some of the stuff that you learn at home, it stays with you. Some of the stuff, it leaves you. But those things are values, that you either obtain, it starts at home.
I think it's values. And I also think it's because biologically we're all we're different, but we have certain things that, let's say, they're over rambunctious based on the person. Mm-hmm. So, a value can be like discipline.
True.
Over your mind, your body. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Now, I'll give credit to my dad. In the early age, it got me into martial arts, got me into boxing. Mm-hmm. So I learned discipline very early. Like I was very calm. I was very collected. I strategized. Mm-hmm. I played chess with my grandmother. Like I became a certain way because of what I was shown. Right. And granted, I'm not saying when I got free, I didn't wild out. I absolutely did. But I was able to pull it back in and start becoming. And as I became more disciplined, it pushed certain people away from me who weren't for me, and it pissed certain people off as well, whether guys or girls. As far as like, I'm rock with that, bro. That's not my. I don't move like that. Yeah, I'm not gonna keep you around. I want you to know that. Like, if you're my friend 5 years, if you move a certain way that doesn't work with me, I get rid of you. Yeah, and I move on, and I really move on, no problem. So I do think with our kids or the youth, discipline in certain ways, because your bodies are different. Testosterone. It's. I know you don't know how it feels to have it. No, but it feels like. I don't want to know. It feels like it's a different feeling of like, fuck it all. Like it's a crazy feeling. But I think that's the difference. That's the reason why with guys, as we get older, we start losing testosterone. As we lose it, we get a little more disciplined because our bodies are not controlling our minds as much. There we go. And then we get a little more mature. Mm-hmm. I don't think guys are really mature till their 30s.
I'm about to say, it take y'all a little bit longer.
Because testosterone and other brain
could be like 40 years old and you got a for real man now. It took him this long, sis.
It did because
you got a few more years.
We couldn't fight the urge. It's crazy. Like I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But then you know, I you know my dad. My dad's a lot older now. He used to be a very tough military dude. Mm-hmm. Now he's so emotional. I'm like, oh yeah, who are you?
They become soft.
But it's because you know their levels are estrogen is raising in their body. He's thinking about things a little more. He's like, "Hey, I love you, son." I'm like, "Bro, you never said that."
Yeah, and it's shocking. You'd be like,
"Oh, he did say."
He just say. He said what?
Or he said like you start high like, "I love you." Right?
That happened. Like, that happened in the black families. Okay, we're afraid to say, "I love you."
Yeah, you say all like you start high like, "I love you."
Look, it's so weird. What's really crazy, like
weird.
my mom is like that. I called her she was my mom, but yet she acted like a dad would have acted, right? And my dad was, you know, more of and maybe it's because he was a Cancer. He was more of the nurturing type, the one to say, I love you. My mom, if it was, you know, in a card, if it was, you know, I did a lot of pageants. You know, I'm proud of you, and I love you. But then once I got older, and the only dad that I know of that raised me is Caucasian. You couldn't tell us that he wasn't my dad, okay? Right. As pale as his skin was and as dark as my hand was, I'd be dang if you called me his stepchild, okay? He was my dad. But yet, you know, he showed us love. He told us that he loved us, and he made sure that we understood that love was an action word. That's how I understood and knew what love actually was. Like love, you show people you love them. Right. And that was my mom's way, you know, and some of us that, you know, are African American, we aren't used to having the words said to us, but the actions were there. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes like, we need to hear it. You know, Black and brown children need to hear that you love them, not just in your actions, but say that I love you. And then, you know, once I got older and she's like, oh, you know, I love you. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, not saying that, you know, I felt that I didn't feel love, right? But to hear it from her, you like, did she just say that? And it's kind of weird for a moment. Should I get quiet? Do I say I love you back? You know, what did I do? She just said it. You know, she said, I love you. Although I know she loves me. I knew, you know, back then that she loved me. She showed it in her actions more so than saying it with her words. And then now, you know, you can freely say it to, you know, a stranger, but then your mama, you know, your grandmother, the people who you know for real love you, it's hard for you to say it, you know. But truly, it shouldn't just be said. It should be said, but it should be shown in our actions. And as they get older, sometimes they, you know, get a little bit softer and they're like, oh, you know, I love you, sweetheart. And you're like, oh, okay, you know, I love you too. So I totally understand. I also think it has something to do with culture. It's not just, you know, them men, it's women and men, and it's African Americans. Truly. That the white side, the Caucasian side of my family, they always, I mean, they love you. Love was thrown out all over the place. They always saying, my aunts, my dad's sisters, love you. I love you. Oh, okay, thank you. You know, I love you too. And it was normal. But from the brown side, honey, they didn't say nothing about no, right? It wasn't no I love you. And then once I built a relationship with my biological father, it was so easy for him to tell me that he loved me and freely for me to say that I love him. But yet the mother that raised me in the house with that same dad, I was like, she just said, I love you. Oh my God. she said, I love you. It's weird. It's hard to, you know, hear after they have gotten older and softer.
Well, I mean, I guess I would say, I mean, I do agree with that. Mm-hmm. I think we can probably segue even for a closure as far as like, you know, I think your perspective on what you do, you know, what you approach as far as your business-wise and what your passion is, you received it because of your experience.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen different sides, and it gave you a good perspective. And I think whatever we go through gives us a particular perspective. But I will admit to the fact that I agree with the fact that, like, especially with our little boys and girls, especially our brown ones, we need to tell them, like, I love you. Yeah. And I tell my son that. And it was funny because even to wrap this up a little bit, my dad, Memorial Day, Labor Day, whatever that was last year. I think it was Labor Day or Memorial Day. Whatever, he came down, stayed here, and it was the first weekend me and him ever hung out. Like we went to drink beer. We actually went out. And granted, he beats me in every way. I was confused. I was like, wow, you have a lot. The military is strong in here. Like it was crazy. And I was like, are you not tired? Like 4 or 5 in the morning, we're still going.
He's still going.
But either way, it was we did a podcast as well, which I haven't released yet, but I'm going to release it probably Father's Day. I'm putting things together. But my son would, like, before he goes to bed, he would come and lay his arm on me, his head on me, and would just say, I love you, good night. And give me a hug. And he was just like, I really appreciate the fact that of the connection you have with him, because you seem like, you teach him how to say I love you. You give him love. You tell him you love him all the time. Mm-hmm. You're very soft with him, but you're tough with him at the same time. And he said he loved just seeing the fact of what I'm giving to him and how he's able to express himself
openly
without problem. My son's tough as nails. We work out, we box, he's strong. But he will also, before he goes to bed, every single night, or even if I'm with him, he'll text me, "Hey, good night. I love you, Father." Like, he says Father to be joking with me, but he says, "I love you, Father." I was like, "Shut up, man. I love you too." But he doesn't have, like, he does not miss it. Every morning, I love you if I'm out here. Every night, I love you. If I am here, he comes and gives me a hug and gives me hugs. I love you. Good night. Like, he always, like, he never fades from it, and I think it's a good thing. And I think we need to give them more of that, because I used to wish I had more of that. Yeah. I got it from my mother and them a lot, but again, 9 months Navy, he's gone. I just wanted it, and I didn't know how to express myself. But and also to add to what you said, as far as a woman teaching me something, my grandmother was a counselor, nurse, and social worker. All right. So communication and expressing myself is something she always helped me with. Mm-hmm. She always taught me to express myself, to talk, to speak. Right. How do you feel? Whether it's good or bad, tell me how you feel. Mm-hmm. If I got space. And it's a safe space for you to say it, So it doesn't bother me to communicate. Yeah. So anybody who I've ever talked to, like, you don't only got to know who talks a lot. Good job at communicating. But she's like, you talk a lot. Yeah. I'm not used to guys talking that much. I'm like, I got to talk. I don't know how to not get my thoughts out. Right. But, I think that's very important as far as how we raise our kids, teaching them about expressing themselves, boy or girl. Mm-hmm. Proper communication. Fully, right. You know what I mean? And get them prepared, especially in the social media age, because they don't have to talk to each other. Right. They text, they DM. Right. They don't even give out phone numbers no more. They give out social Instagram. Media. Yeah, that's crazy. That was a new thing that I learned, afterwards. That's crazy. But I didn't realize it. I was like, oh, so you don't want my number. You want my social media? That's like, wild, right? Okay. So we're in a new age, but so we have to at least make sure we still maintain the old trend, the traditions that actually works, and don't do away with them, because every other facet is changing. School systems changing as far as how they deal with kids. Everything is changing, but we still have to instill that in our kids, and give them that human connection, because they're losing it, because technology has really become the root of all evil, in my opinion, as far as losing touch. Right. Because we can't approach people no more. We can just text them. We can just message them. Right. And we don't know how it feels to walk up to a girl and say, "Hey, how you doing? My name is..." You know what I mean? Like, how you walk into a job interview and be confident if you can't walk up to present yourself. And now you don't even have to do it in person. It's all virtual. Yeah. And you might feel comfortable. Interview. Yeah. But the ones, I feel like the ones who rise up and really, really, really do a certain job a certain way, they come from the old culture. They come from that thing of getting in front of people, getting in their faces. Making that connection. Making that connection. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something you do. You make connections, right? Connections. I think it's a perfect ending. In person. That's your job. Connections. Is to help them make connections. Yeah. And prepare people for what they need in order to maintain the connection or find the right connection. Right. Absolutely. Perfect. We definitely went longer than I expected. What time is it? 6:51. I know you lying, brother. This interview is going to go for a long way. Oh, you thought you could talk? But you ain't met me yet. Okay? I'm the talker, brother. Okay? Listen, I'm the talker. That's perfect. You want conversation? Well, I got you. That's perfect. Because even with the whole, the thing I'm doing as far as the show and everything. Yeah. This is not a one-time thing. This is something I'm making into a thing where it's going to keep showing up different places. Cool beans. But that's why I'm making this one so good, because I want to make sure I film it properly and present it in a way where people when they say, "Hey, this show's showing up," people show up to it. Yeah. And I get other clubs to pick up on it, and not regular clubs, certain type of establishments like Montague Room. So I want their stage badly. That's a beautiful stage to have in their place. It's perfect. But they don't hold that many people. I don't need a lot of people. It would be very intimate. I want it to be intimate. Yeah. Because I'm still videotaping everything. Gotcha. I want it to be intimate, because it's better connection. We can really talk to people.
True.
And people can also walk outside, listen to music.
Do you know the guy? What's the guy name?
My partner is pretty close with him.
The councilman. What's his name? I can't remember the guy's name. I don't remember his name, but they say he's pretty approachable.
I don't have a problem, especially if it's business terms. I'll work with anybody. So I have a connection with them. Like everywhere I've done so far, I've contacted them, got in contact with them, and I sat down. Mm-hmm. Even with Purple Buffalo, I sat down with the owner.
What's a Purple Buffalo?
That's what we're doing the first show as.
What is it?
It's a venue. It's like it's more so a place where people just throw stuff at.
It's an event space.
Kind of, yeah. Like it has an actual bar and everything.
I never heard of it.
It has a full bar, but like nobody actually uses it as a consistent club.
Gotcha.
He always has bookings. He can't get anybody consistently, so he also wants something consistent. And it's like a perfect setup. It's super nice.
Okay, I'll look it up. I never heard of it.
It's nice. It's really nice.
And you said it's in North Charleston.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a nice setup. It's a very nice setup. Good parking lot. Good parking space. Mm-hmm. It's not like people don't just like randomly like, where are we going tonight? I don't know. Let's try Purple Buffalo. Like, you have to go there to go there.
There's something going on. Yeah,
it's incentive to go. That's why I wanted to be more of an incentive for people to show up.
Gotcha.
Other than people just randomly showing up and like, oh, what are you talking about? Like causing problems.
Yeah.
I'm not even for all that. Now, granted, that could be a situation in other places, but the conversation would be a little different. Or it might be a little more loose of a conversation where it might be a messy conversation. I can do those time to time. People want to go there, I can do it all day. It just depends on what I'm trying to accomplish at that moment.
Okay.
For this one, I'm trying to make something where everybody has something to say. And probably in March, I'll be in New York first part of March, mid-March. I'm going to try working something we all get together. Uh-huh. So you meet everybody else associated with it. And, we can see our chemistry going. But everybody's a talker. Everybody is, has a purpose of what they're doing. Mm-hmm. The other two girls, they have like a thing called the Purple Beauty Bar. Okay. And, they do holistic teachings and yoga. And
is there equal number of men and ratio of women? Okay. Yeah.
My partner, Trevor, and another guy, whatever. Trevor Mitchell. He has his own podcast already as well.
Why do I know that? I heard that name. Maybe I'm following him.
Probably because he Sweetgrass Clothing and all stuff.
I heard of that.
Big dude. He went to school with me, so he was my lineman in football. And I was like, we've always been kind of like tight. Okay. So like I said, I try to connect with real people and people who I think have a good purpose.
I saw you had a podcast interview with the guy who does What's Going On with Charleston. Yeah. He posts some of my events sometimes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's gonna post Henry, that's his name. Mm.
Right. He's cool people. He's good. He's a good guy. He's a really good guy. And,
he's been very helpful and supportive.
That's why I like him.
Advertising my events and stuff. And
HBCU, he's very connected. I'm trying to get good connections with people and good people who just you're down here in Charleston. You know the mentality.
Oh, it's who you know type thing. You got to get in the click.
Right. So I try to deal with people who I feel like mentality is not stuck on that and more so wanting more. And then we work together and gain more.
Gain more. Amen.
And keep on gaining more and more. And it just gets bigger. My plan is to get this bigger to the point where it's like actual festival. That's my plan. I have a person who does
it can happen.
I have a person who does stages and everything, whatever. I just need to build it enough. Help build up a couple more podcasts. I'm gonna help build up a few other podcast people I'm working with. Help them build because I want to make this a network of communication. Yeah. So help them build their stuff. Help them with the edits, the lighting, whatever they need, whatever. To the point we do a full festival where everybody comes out there. And it's a real good platform, like the Black Effects Festival. Okay. That's the one I went to that would change my whole perspective of everything.
Is that the one where they are doing tours? Do they do tours?
Yeah, because they had it was like Just Hilarious and Charlamagne the God. Okay. Whatever. Yes. And I'm cool with his brother, so. I'm trying to.
But he's from here,
right?
Yeah.
Not good at podcasting, but he's still connected to his brother. So I'm trying to. I'm working every angle I can possibly looking those.
You had to.
You know what I mean?
Network. Put yourself in the room with the people who you are trying to be like, or you want to be close to,
and also just pull us up because I feel like it's starting to get better, but it just so much separation between us down here. It's like we don't. If we all just work together, we could be amazing.
It's enough money. It's enough people for all of us.
Everybody wants there. So that's why I'm trying to do something different and start finding people.
Think outside the box.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you know,
That's
I know
big.
people have said they've tried doing live ones, but no, like I know it's one other person who does one, but it's more so like people in the bar, they drunk, they gotta sit on the mic and they're like, yeah, cause my tracking. I'm like, okay, it's not a conversation. You know, I'm supposed to be on his one too. This is a white dude, but like it's messy. I'm gonna probably show up there drunk and just,
Lord.
just like I'm gonna be on the messiness. But that's all he does. You know what I mean? Like it's not serious conversation.
Gotcha.
It's just messy talks.
Okay.
And that's not my thing. I mean, I don't mind doing it sometimes, but I don't want it to be my thing. I want to get invited to certain events or certain like talking points or motivational speaking. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get to that point, so I need to present myself a certain way.
True. Image is everything.
Right. So I can't present myself like I'm just on the straight messiness and